its demons. As the hours drift on, hope seems far gone all around us. The light guns rare and can't compare to all this darkness. No one can tame our past of shame, it's all that we know. Memories of all those things drift through all that we sow. You know a brighter day is just around the bend. What we need are some heroes with wheels of iron, their hearts in the stars through the darkest of days. They'll ride into the sunset, hope overflowing, and construct a new day from the back. Say to stay alive. There's a pain that we all gain from all this darkness. Look around and see it's bound to every one of us. It seems all we see is misery at the end of our ropes. Let's break this mold and change the old and all begin to hope. You know a brighter day is just around the bend. What we need is some heroes made of metal, some steam-powered gunslingers to save the day. They'll ride in with their heads held high, guns aimed courage at their side, and vanquish the evil from the lands. What we need are some heroes with wheels of iron, their hearts in the stars through the darkest of days. They'll ride into the sunset, hope overflowing, and construct a new day from the bad. And construct a new day from the bad.
heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of the world that we defy. The soul ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light.
Hello everybody, welcome to the PSU LCS as we're in the finals. This is going to be the first game of the week 2 versus Team JAIDA and Team TRA. This is going to be a really close match, and like always, I'm joined here by Doug. How's it going, man?
As always, it's going pretty well. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. The overlays are a little messed up, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that quick. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, just as you said, this is actually technically the 2 versus 7 matchup, which, usually in a playoff format means there's a bit of a difference. But yeah, with Team Red Apple forfeiting in the last week and giving up potentially 3 points that could have put them in a top 3 spot, they're definitely lower, I would say, in the rankings than maybe they should have been otherwise.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, with JAIDA getting second spot, it's not ideal, but we'll see how that works out. This is the best of 3, right?
Yes, for the first time in a while. We are not going to have any ties this week. This is a best of 3. So in the meantime, I'm still trying to fix this up. Give me just 1 moment.
Sure.
I don't know what happened between games, but something just happened in the overlay where it just doesn't want to work anymore. And I believe I fixed it.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, it's close enough.
Good enough. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's I guess there's the LAN coming up, right? And basically, if you win today, whoever wins the series has like a 90% chance.
Just about, yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to.
A really high percent.
If white minority wins the first round matchup,
yes,
then anyone who wins the first round matchup makes it to LAN. It's
exactly. And then if they don't win, all you do is get top 3. So you just can't lose twice in a row. So a pretty high likelihood that if you win this game, you are going to go to the LAN, which is mid-April. Oh wait, no. I think mid-April.
Mid-April? That would be
it's like
unfortunate.
3 weeks away, I believe. I'll have to double check on that, and as I just dropped something there, whoops. But yeah, I have to double check with Ian at some point, but I believe it is mid-April. And as we were going on this, a lot of bans and a couple picks going already, and it looks like Taeyun wants to play the JAIDA this time, as they first picked at a high priority on that champion.
Yep. Yeah, he, I believe, prioritized Thresh a few times. We've seen him in the past, or I think Lulu to a degree, as we can see, the Lulu was banned out. I think that's what we saw him play the last time. But with Lulu banned out and Thresh available, he still opts for the Janna. I'm curious if that's a specific thing in mind. Do they go Janna Draven?
Oh, who knows?
That worked out in their favor, but no, it's going to be Caitlyn.
Yeah, I don't think Synth really plays Draven at all, so they're going to go with the Caitlyn, which is really strong in this patch, so no surprise on that. And Toxic Fior, by the way, this is not a new player for JAIDA. It's actually Dig Baron's alternate account. He's, I believe, just not able to play on the other one at this point. I'm not sure
why. Banned?
Not sure why. He has to play it on
Sounds
his
like he got banned.
Yeah, and it might be just a temp thing, who knows, but we're going to see TRA now coming up. It's going to be already locked in as the Kazakhs and the Orianna. We see Orianna a lot of times turn games around with a great shockwave. If you land that on 3 or more people, the fight usually goes in your favor if it's an even fight.
This would be really interesting if they go with the Alistar. Alistar really does not fare well into Janna for the laning phase. But Hamanation is going to grab the Vayne. That's his main champion. I was wondering if he could go Jinx and we could have a proper theme match. Caitlyn, Vi hunting down the Jinx. But we're just going to get just Vayne instead. Vayne Taric. I think it's a fair match. I've never seen this lane in particular, but definitely when you have an invulnerability, usually a Vayne is a pretty high target, and any duration of invulnerability is time where she can just clean people up. She's a champion that will always get to a point where she needs X number of hits to kill someone, no matter what. Because of her passive on her W.
And I'm about to say, we did see Hamanation. That is his #1 played champion, is that Vayne. But if you look over at Tempo, he plays the Victor, and that is by far his most played champion. So far in just Season 7 alone, he's played 130 games on the Victor. His next highest is 50 on the Orianna. So over twice as much as his second most played champion. He has a lot of mastery on this champion, and we've seen it in other games too. If he gets Victor, he does great with him.
And Victor is someone who is considered to fare pretty well against Vayne. You don't typically talk about mid lane versus AD carry matchups, but when Vayne's, tumbling all over the place, hard to hit, and Victor just walks up and Q autos, she often dies if he has Lich Bane. So he doesn't really put up with Vayne shenanigans too much. So, but with the Taric, it'll be interesting to see how they pull that off. And it could just be a tank matchup here with Poppy locked in for Elevator Dunk, and then Xavier is going to lock in the Nautilus. So just 2 tanks in the top lane. Yeah. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, and we know how much Directed Camera loves tank fights in the top side. So we're probably going to see quite a bit of this Poppy versus Nautilus matchup. And unless we are going to see either Toxic Fiora or Zarkra come up in the top side, I don't know if there's going to be any really kills in that lane. Poppy can bully tanks pretty well, and I think before items, Nautilus can bully the Poppy a little bit. But that's just very early game. That's really it where the Nautilus has the advantage.
I think they're both pretty strong in lane. They're not quite as safe and secure as the Maokai usually, but yeah, I mean, Nautilus's Riptide can put out a bunch of damage. It's really hard to avoid, and then yeah, Poppy can get wall stuns. Probably auto attacks harder than a lot of top lane champions, but I don't expect too many solo kills. But I've said that before in tank matchups, and we've gotten solo kills. So we'll see.
And the one thing I like, especially against a Vayne, is how much point and click that we see out of the side from JAIDA. Like,
it's true.
Tempo, he's going to have a point and click and then auto attack to burst him down. You have the ultimate coming out from the Vi where you really can't miss it. As far as I know, if Vayne goes into stealth, it doesn't block the ultimate. I think it still goes through.
It should complete. And there's kind of like a soft synergy between Vi and Caitlyn, as you might expect from their theme. But Vi pushes everyone else out. So if you open a fight with a Vi Caitlyn ultimate combos, Vi will shove everyone out of the way while Caitlyn's channeling her ult and make sure Ace in the Hole hits the intended target. So Caitlyn and Vi combined could take down Hammer Nation before the fight even begins, or at least set them up to be finished off by Tempo or Elevator Dunk jumping in.
Yeah, looking through.
So yeah, you're right. It's a tough team to pick Vayne into. I would not typically imagine picking Vayne when you've already seen a Vi, but he's bold, and it's his champion.
Yeah,
so.
if you look at his top 3 champions, it is the Vayne, Jhin, and Tristana. Jhin is really the only one that has been meta very recently. Vayne has been kind of strong after the changes recently in the latest patches. Jhin, I haven't seen too much of lately, at least in my solo queue, and really it's been a lot of Caitlyn's, a couple of Lucians, Varus's as well are still pretty popular, but not a lot of Vaynes.
No.
And yeah, like you said, against a Vi, really against a Vi, against a Poppy who you could like get away from walls, but once the charge is coming to you, it's going to complete. So you'll still have a Poppy on you no matter what. I do like the Taric mixed in with it. A little bit of nice lockdown, nice little tiny bit of sustain there. But one thing that's very dangerous, if Vayne opens up with her ultimate and then tumbles forward, you have no clue where that stun from Taric is going to come from.
Yeah, it's true. I definitely like the 2v2 situation here with that stealth tumble stun potential. It's very potent and hard to avoid. But after that, you're right. It's going to be tricky for these team fights.
Now, one thing I don't know, I didn't ask Ian, but I'm not sure if new Galio is on the table or not. I was just looking through the champions, and I saw his smiling face there, which just seems out of place. But
he feels potentially pretty strong. I'm curious to see exactly where he fits in, and what sort of meta builds come out, because I think there's a lot of different ways you can go with him. Probably not full damage, but I'm wondering if he will be still kind of like that AP bruiser sort of thing. Or if people will kind of switch more over to like full tank Maokai Poppy style builds.
I think it's one of those things where it's like if you see that they're facing a very AP heavy comp, Galio's going to be great into it. The only thing is that there's not a lot of full AP heavy comps. It's usually full AD, if anything.
Yeah, well, there is always a marksman on a team. That's just kind of the meta as is. It could be Corgi sometimes. But their double AP comps are not completely unheard of.
True, it's just less
with
likely.
top lane, Swain,
Cho'Gath a little bit here and there.
Yeah, it's not as big as it used to be. You know, season 2, man, Vladimir Kennon's everywhere. Oh. That was the meta.
Vlad is my least favorite champ, in all honesty. It just
I was a Vlad main, and I agree with you. I mean, he's not my least favorite champ, but he's pretty stupid.
He is just like he just can't be punished sometimes. It's like, oh, I get completely caught out. I'm just gonna pull and get away.
Uh-oh.
Like, oh, you've been chunking me down over all the time. I'm just going to heal back up.
Sorry.
Xavier
doesn't have a keystone.
Uh-oh. Now,
top lane Nautilus did not grab a keystone.
I've been noticing that there has been a bug lately, or it's been weird that like sometimes you'll change your masters and they won't go through. I wonder if that's what happened to him. And if he notices quick enough, they might just remake. Because it happened to me before where I went to play a game and I switched everything to all my AD runes, but it happened and all of a sudden it just it didn't go through. I had all my AP runes still on it, so playing Caitlyn with
like
AP runes is really tough.
Just covering your butt. I play AP Caitlyn all the time.
Yeah, I think
looks like they're saying they're asking for a remake. I don't know if it's been granted.
We'll have to see, 'cause I'm not sure what the exact ruling on that is. But just in the
I don't have any of these guys on my friends list, so I can't look if they left the game or anything, but don't even talk if you are at least silver 4. What is this?
That's embracing.
Is this a meme?
I don't know. In all honesty.
I'm unranked. Does that mean I can't talk?
I don't know what unranked is considered sometimes, so they're still talking about if the remake is allowed. Not sure how, because it's one of those things like, was it a client error or did he just forget to add that final mastery, or did he have to hit save?
Yeah, someone says it's 12, 0, and 17. I was wondering for a second if we've gone back to like the previous masteries where people didn't even bother completing the tree sometimes in like 16, 14 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case. 12 and 17, that's 29 points. You still got 1 point to spend.
Yeah, so
I imagine he has like a tank mastery page filled out and just like swaps the keystone around depending on whether you have CC or not. So, and then just messed up somehow.
So it looks like it might be going through because the rules don't say anything about it. And yeah, it might just be one of those unfortunate things because if you forgot it, I can understand if it was something like a client-side error, like he did put it in, he hit save, it just didn't go through, because that does happen from time to time. For some reason, it happens a lot more in custom games than it does in like ranked or normals for some odd reason. I don't know how, but yeah, they're just gonna go ahead through without it. There's nothing on this about being able to remake if you forgot to add it, and like we said, he had 12-0-17. That's not forgetting to upload a master. That's just forgetting to add that final point.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. That could hurt. That could definitely hurt. Keystones are kind of a significant thing these days. They're not like... Once upon a time, like the top one for the utility tree was like out of combat movement speed. You had to spend 21 points just to get out of combat movement speed.
Yeah, and now you get that from
some
a dragon.
Sports were just like, nah.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like now you just get that out of a dragon that still some people don't take. So it's like that just shows you of how bad that final mastery point was. Yeah. I forget like
16,
what all the
14
old ones.
was pretty, or 0, 16, 14 was pretty popular. Not getting the final thing or anything. Anyways, that's ages ago. I'm just looking, not too much going on. As per the norm, we got one ward down. The banana bush on the blue side.
Yeah, we actually got to watch the top side now a lot because this Nautilus is now going to have a rougher time in the top side without that keystone. It's now whenever he goes in, that's a shield that he won't have. I believe he would have went with Courage of the Colossus, so that's going to be now
in
a big
a poppy
time
lane.
shield.
You might also go grasp. It's not out of the question. It depends. It really depends. I think in a lane that evenly matched, you often go grasp just to keep it evenly matched all the more, or give you an edge if she goes for courage.
And then there's a little bit of sustain now you won't have in lane. So all in all, it's just really, really rough, and we'll have to see how the team can react to that.
Yeah, I'm curious how much we see of Zarkra before level 6. You very rarely see Vise do much before that ultimate, and then it's, gank on cooldown.
I think Q can be a very good ganking tool, especially if you like. It's one of those things that.
Yeah, well, with Q Flash, if she has Flash available, she can be pretty effective. But for the most part, it really is wait till 6 a lot of the time, and they will hard farm to get there because obviously with that ultimate, it's just the ganks are so much more potent. Tempo starting off pretty well in this lane.
Yeah, Tempo is having a great time against this Orianna. As we know, he's very well in depth on that champion, so no surprise there. And yeah, one thing about Vi too is if you go to gank and you miss your Q, sometimes that just means, okay, gank's over. We can't get anything out of it, and you just have to back off because there's so much damage and so much CC that comes out from that Q that if you miss it, gank's over.
You're done. Yeah. There really isn't much else in the kit that works great for ganking. It's mostly just jungle clear speed that you get at the W and E. So you're right. Yeah. It does look like so far just going for the farm. Level 3 already. And not looking like leaving the jungle, going for the full clear. Not too surprising. Also, Zarkra doing the exact same thing, though. So it doesn't look like he's looking to make any early moves either.
Yeah, so just a lot of farming. Yeah, top lane is fairly even. You see Xavier do quite a bit of damage to Elevator Dunk there, surprisingly. That's through all the resistances that this Poppy has. And yeah, it's just going to be a fairly even lane on the top side. Now, looking at gold, it's still just a slow goalie going in favor of JAIDA, and that's just from the farm in the mid lane and a little bit in the bot lane as well, but mostly mid lane. Yeah,
you would definitely expect Caitlyn to bully a Vayne no matter how good that Vayne player is. But and unsurprisingly, Tempo, as we said, he's plays a lot of Victor. So super comfortable on this champion, the champion he knows how to win lane with and does have that slight lead.
There's a lot of understatements we could say today, and saying that Tempo is good at Victor is a pretty big understatement, and we've been seeing him play so much.
Occasionally plays Vayne. You know, we could go all day. Oh, and missing a keystone is slightly annoying.
A little bit, just slightly.
All over.
Yeah, Caitlyn has big range. Janna is good at CC and kiting. Another big understatement. But as we were saying this, now the goal lead is still at around 500, and that makes me wonder of how much in the jungle that is. And
yeah, it's true.
It's only 2 CS, but actually since both back and getting gold, you're seeing just a little tiny bit, just 70 gold. So not really any sort of lead going really for either jungler. It's just passively in the mid lane mostly, but we're gonna see actually a fight break out in the mid lane as Synth gets jumped on, forced to use his heal already, and now they actually might be able to turn the damage as Toxic Fiora is here. Nice condemned there by Hammer Nation, and that means that nothing can happen. You missed the Q, your gank's over, and we see that. And Teleport was actually used by Xavier there. But Flash forward by Tempo. Can't get the damage under tower. He's not actually be able to pick up the kill. Takes a lot of turret shots there, but he's not going to be able to go down. Just not enough mana for any more abilities. So very aggressive there on that Victor and not able to land the kill. And Party Duck actually didn't even waste any summoner spells for that. And the bot side, we see a lot of trading still going on.
He doesn't get pushed out when he's under the tower. I think he missed. Oh, no, he actually sticks around. So yeah, really doesn't get much out of this. Takes another tower and another.
He has to back out now. He knows Zarkra is nearby, so there's no point of staying in that lane anymore.
Any edge he may have potentially gotten is now gone with that. So yeah, you're right. Just a flash burn. Definitely a lane that Zarkra should be looking at here in the next few minutes, due to the slight lead and the fact there is no flash. Xavier, did you read pretty well? Elevator Dunk tried to fight him in a giant minion wave, and Nautilus will not let you leave once you draw that minion aggro, which hurt him a bit. But he's actually gone back. And Xavier has stuck around, and as you said, he doesn't have to teleport anymore. Yes. So he needs to be smart with his back timing.
Yeah, Synth there going with the combo too, doing quite a bit of damage there to Sifo. And that's one thing about Caitlyn, like when it was first found out, it was like such this huge thing. But now I think everybody, like even just bronze players, knows how to do the combo. It's one of the easiest combos in the game to do. Well, now, not besides the new Alistar combo, which is almost impossible to mess it up anymore.
No. You'd think so, but it's not.
They literally programmed it to be easier, so you shouldn't miss it anymore.
It's funny, because I'm pretty sure originally that Vayne or the Caitlyn combo was kind of, not like a bug, but, you know, not something that was deliberate by any means. And then when she went through the rework and everything, it's something that's stuck around. It's pretty neat.
I enjoy
It's really
it.
funny when you do it the other way by accident. Like you try to jump forward with your net and then shoot your Q immediately, and it comes from where you used to be, and it's just not nearly long enough.
Yeah, that's always an unfortunate thing that does happen every so often. And
Yeah.
Xavier in this top side, not having as rough of a time as I thought he was going to be without that Keystone Mastery, but that's just the power of the Nautilus, being able to farm extremely safely and just doing passive damage from either his Riptide or where he picks up the Bomby Cinder. Just standing around him then causes him to do so much damage to you.
Yeah, we can see now Tempo is starting to widen this lead a bit, now approaching 20 CS difference over Party Duck. And looks like we have a solo dragon here going? No.
He back.
Yeah, he gets sniffed out. Sifo just walking by. I don't know if they knew he was doing that or if he was just in the area. Toxic Fior is 6th, though, and obviously, as we said, this is where we should pay attention to Vi.
Yeah, very low amount of gank so far from either jungler. We saw in the bot side, we saw the Vi gank a little bit. Now, in the top lane, we're going to have a little bit of fight here, as I thought we were going to see a Zarka up here, but he's not going to be coming up. He's actually going to steal the blue buff away. And Elevator Dunk takes quite a bit of harass there from Xavier, and it's just working so well for him on this Nautilus. And that is going to be a blue buff steal eventually coming out from Zarka. I think it was, yeah, he was able to get it. So that's a huge buff being stolen, and that's now blue that's not going to be on the Victor. And that's going to be very beneficial for the Soriana. And actually, we have a gank on the top side. Xavier is going to get there, and the ultimate from the Poppy not going to come out in time. But they're going to jump onto Toxic Fiora. The flash dredge line is not going to land, as the Vi is able to get over the wall. So that's going to be a 1-0 in the favor of TRA.
Yeah, we were concerned about how Xavier was going to do with the Keystone missing, but he's been faring very well in this lane and then setting up the dive on Elevator Dunk. Nautilus executes dives so well as long as you have a jungler who can do some damage, and of course Kha'Zix can do just that. Still though, it's about a 300 gold lead for JAIDA right now, just based on CS numbers, largely in that mid lane, of course, 20 CS difference. And a bit now in the bottom lane as well, as that is finally starting to get a bit of a difference. Hamination, he's been bullied out for most of the lane, but he's actually been doing a very good job CSing under tower, keeping the lane close. But as we can see, starting to widen just a bit.
Yeah, at 15 CS right now, and these are going to be a couple hard minions to get, and we see the tower damage already down to half health as Synth and Taeyun down here doing a lot of work on that tower very early, and they've been able to push fairly safely because you see the ward coverage that they have, and it's very far up, and unless we see the Kha'Zix able to like dance around these wards somehow, he's not going to be able to get out.
Beside mid lane, like through that mid lane.
Yeah, that's really it.
It's a dangerous path. Less so for Kha'Zix, who can just jump over the dragon wall if he gets caught out, but most junglers don't really want to take that path too frequently because of how far you have to walk through enemy territory. And as you can see, he's been spotted out. He's standing directly on top of a ward.
Which is going to die off soon. But he's actually going to go forward. Taeyun, you knew he'd jump over that wall. He's actually going to go forward. Will he be able to live the flash forward by Hamination, getting a lot of damage on a Taeyun? Now Synth might be the one who's going to get caught out. Teleports are coming in from both sides. Is the ultimate from the Terror going to come out in time? It won't, as that's going to be one kill. Sifo is able to live just for a little bit longer, so the ultimate did at least save Tarek for now. Toxic Fiora trying to get that trade kill, but not able to, so it's just going to be a 1-0 so far, and an 800 goal lead going in favor of JAIDA.
Was that... I don't know if that was a full-on bait by Taeyun, or he legitimately thought he was still over the wall. I'm thinking it was a bait, because they knew they had Toxic Fiora there, and Janna is pretty safe if you get jumped on. But we saw, what Vi can do against the Vayne there. Hamination did his best to run around the enemy team, but you just press R. He's not going anywhere. And now they get that Infernal Drake. Not going to do much for them yet, but an investment in the future, as we say.
Yeah, that ultimate from Tarek almost did save Hamination. It did save Sifo, though. It was, I think the last bit of damage was coming in, and Sifo was able to just get that ultimate down in time to save himself. But Hamination did drop right before that landed, and that was a very aggressive move by Hamination. With the Tarek's E on him, getting ready for that stun, he flashed forward, and I'm not even sure if he was able to hit it. Tempo here.
Uh-oh.
Weird dancing here as it's going to be 3 people in the mid lane, but he's trying to do his best to kite backwards. Nice flash getting under tower. He's actually able to get out alive there. I thought as soon as he went forward that was going to be his death sentence, but no, he's able to get back to his tower and is going to be able to live. Nice job there by Tempo.
Yeah, they just didn't have the damage to finish him off. I think he got his shield off, and that absorbed probably as much damage as possible. But yeah, that with 3 people there, that should be a kill.
Almost 100%. I gotta look back to see where he put down his graviton field, just to see where he got people to somehow walk around it, or I don't know what he did. But Zarka is gonna be on the top side. Elevator dunk, not going to land his ultimate. Interesting interaction there, as it didn't knock anybody back, and that's gonna be a kill going over to Zarka.
Yeah.
Not sure
actually
what
not.
with that.
It's Nautilus hit his hook after he got hit
by
the ult, drawing him back immediately. You can get really weird with that. If the hook is thrown from further away, he'll fly about 20 feet and then hook himself back. It's Riot claims it's intended, but it looks pretty funky sometimes. But that one's not too weird. That was just well executed there by Xavier. He knew exactly what was going to happen and exactly how to make sure he did not get thrown away.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I completely forgot about that.
Tower.
Because it looked like he missed at first, but only one of those hammers came up. So that's why it looked like it just hit the first person, which was the Nautilus, and the instant hook to keep him there. Just great job by Xavier, perfect timing. And granted, I think the kill was still going to go over to Zarka there, but it was just a lot easier to get.
Yeah, I think he should have aimed for the main damage source in that situation. Tried to eject Zarka. Even if you could eject the Nautilus safely, it's... You know, after the point he's thrown out all his CC, he's not doing a lot more in that gank compared to what Zarka can put out. Still, saved his flash at least. He didn't use that, and there it is.
You're actually going to get caught out as Zarka's going to get pinned against the wall. Where's Tempo? There he is. Does he have enough damage to get in there? One auto attack not going to be there. Taeyun coming in here with the flank and just knocking them both up. It's a lot of damage going on both Party Duck and Zarka here, but can JAIDA finish the damage? Tempo's going to be jumped on. That's Xavier now on the backside, but he's all alone. Does he have flash available? He does not, but he is so tanky at this point, and Party Duck is able to get a trade kill on to Taeyun, a double kill actually, as he takes out Toxic Fiora as well. But here comes Synth now, the Shockwave going to land on Tempo, so that'd be a triple kill for Party Duck. Can they keep this fight? Party Duck does finally fall. Synth just dealing out so much damage on this Caitlyn. Nice stun coming out from the Terror to dodge a lot of damage with Zarka being forced to run away here. A's in the hole, not used by Synth as Hamination. Can he 1v2 here? He's actually going to have Sifo with him to help out. An elevator dunk taking a lot of damage. Stun going to land as Hamination picks up another kill. Now Synth is going to be the next one on the menu, forcing the flash over the wall. That red buff doing so much work for the Vayne, and just a messy fight all around. I'm not even sure what the numbers were at the end of that.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see an edge here for Team Red Apple, as that was definitely an overchase, and now Synth could actually go down here too.
Yeah, Sifo with the flash under tower getting the stun, and that's Hamination with the heal protecting his support. He's going to be able to pick up the kill, but did they stay for too long? Did they overextend? Tempo using the ghost to close in the distance. So much damage going down, but Hamination able to live with a nice condemn, but it might not be for too much longer. Taeyun might be able to finish that with an E, but no, that's going to be Tempo picking it up, so that's going to be another kill being traded off. So just a little bit of overextension there, and it cost Hamination's life.
Yeah, usually when you're diving a tower to get a kill this early in the game, you're going to have teammates of the guy you're killing show up, and that is Hamination going down. I wonder if they can get this tower here, start adding to their tower total. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get this.
Yeah, I thought Toxic Fiora was going to be a little too far forward, but it's going to be able to dodge off from that dredge line, so he's going to be able to get away. And yeah, the tower just takes a little bit of damage. Tempo, with now having red buff, was able to deal quite a bit from that because of the burn. And it's going to help them out as we see this gold lead roughly above 1,000 gold. And that's just in favor of JAIDA right now. And a lot of that is from that first tower gold.
Yeah, and the farm difference here still. We have about a 40 CS lead for Tempo over Party Duck and 20 CS for Synth over Hamination. But of course, the threat of a scaling Vayne here is always a bit of a concern. So with Caitlyn right in particular, you'd probably want to get another tower here soon. Now Toxic Fiora has ult and looking for more.
Yeah, he's going to go on a Zarkra here with the ace in the hole coming out as well. But since it's going to be jumped on by Xavier, who's for some reason in the bot side, and Toxic Fiora being jumped on now, but he's going back on to the Nautilus. Do they have enough damage to close it in? The tower's not there anymore, so they're going to be able to continue this rush here. And Sifa, though, now with the stun, is going to be able to stop it. And that's just looking like no one's going to drop there. And that's a lot of ultimates blown on this side of JAIDA.
I'm not sure about this target selection for Toxic Fiora. Maybe you push them out and you can get a dragon here, but trying to jump on a jungler who can go invisible, I'll hold on.
Yes, Tempo is going to be the next one to be jumped on, and with the ultimate coming out, they're probably going to turret dive, but actually, because of everybody else coming out from JAIDA, they're not able to continue that dive, so ultimate being used from Sifo for not really too much there, and we saw Hemination at the top side be able to pick up a tower, so that's going to be an Ocean Drake for top tower. Definitely worth it for JAIDA there.
And they're going to pick up a mid tower here probably as well, making that definitely a fair trade. They'll take that. So in the end, it works out okay after they push back the jungler, Zarkra. I still don't like the way they went about it, just ulting Zarkra there when the damage sword synth had to walk through a Nautilus to auto attack. Not an easy endeavor.
Oh wow, since somehow
that's why they didn't get any kills. But
yeah, I gotta say it did come out a lot of summoners or a lot of ultimates blown, but they took Zarkra out, which gave them not only the dragon but the trade of towers top for mid is 100% worth it for JAIDA. Just that, if they traded mid tower for top tower, that alone would have been worth it. But they also got the Ocean Drake on top of it. And now they're still maintaining this 1,000 gold lead. And now they also have 2 dragons on top of that. It's going to be hugely in favor now for JAIDA.
Yeah, and Ocean Drake is a great Drake for them right now. With Caitlyn, she can pretty much siege by herself, and just that extra little mana and health sustain to complement the siege allow them to get some towers here before Hamination really gets in this game. Xavier's doing really well here, though, for not having a keystone.
Yeah. Above in farm, 0-1 and 5 too, not dying as much, so it's definitely working out for him. Now, that makes me wonder if he had that big shield during any of these fights to have a little bit of extra sustained, if going Courage of the Colossus, that is, of if he could have helped turn around any of these fights. Because we saw the one where it was roughly a 3-for-3, 3-for-4 trade in the mid lane. If he was a little bit tankier and survived a little bit longer, how that would have changed that fight.
That's a good question. We have a 2v2 here.
Yeah, and Hamination going pretty ham right now in a sense, forcing the heal almost immediately, but that's the power of the Vayne right here. Trying to do as much damage as he can, but now a Toxic Fiora up here. Can he land the ultimate on a Hamination? Condemned backwards, so not even able to use it at this point. And because there's 2 more members on the side of TRA, they're going to jump on a Synth there, and he's going to get blown up. The reset's available for Zarkra, but he's going to get knocked up there. So that's just going to be a 1-for-0 in the favor of TRA with a nice roam for their mid and jungler.
Yeah, that was just a great response there. Really tough to gank the Vayne like that. Obviously, we saw the Condemn pushing Toxic Fiora away right away, and then just the mid and jungler responding immediately, allowing them to get the kill on Synth. And maybe... Oh no, sorry, there's no tower there, so I can't get that.
Yeah, and Rift Herald is also no longer there, so not really anything that they could pick up off of this. Just maybe roam in mid, kind of push tempo off and try for a siege. But Synth is already back up and already running to the mid lane, so that rotation is just going to be a little too slow, and they're not going to be able to go for it. So a nice kill. They took Synth off the map for a little bit, so that's going to delay the damage coming out from Caitlyn. But besides that, they really didn't get much else off of that.
Yeah, we can see here Tempo's nearly completed his Lich Bane. And as we talked about, that will be a great addition for dealing with this Vayne, who is, as we can see, starting to get pretty strong. Fared pretty well in the 2v2 against, Caitlyn, who doesn't do nearly as well in 2v2s, of course. But, yeah, you can't rule out a Vayne at any point. And Lich Bane will definitely help get rid of that threat.
Yeah, he maxes Hex Core build first, which is usually the obvious choice from the Victor. If you have the 1,000 gold, always upgrade it. It is going to make you so much powerful. It upgrades your abilities. And yeah, so we're going to see Tempo now with that immense wave clear. Just going to have no troubles at all defending this mid lane tower as long as he doesn't get jumped on. And we say this, 4 leads in favor of TRA, but 1,000 gold in the buckets of JAIDA. This game is still very close, and I don't know if JAIDA realizes how much of an advantage they actually have in this game.
Yeah, that's true. They've had this gold lead for a while, and I definitely would have liked to see them push it a bit harder. Just because, you know, they have the Orianna, they have the Vayne. They have a team fight that will look really, really good here in the late game. And I would have liked to try to push some towers a little bit harder, or be a little bit smoother on the plays they try to make. Looks like they're going to go for a dragon here. 1 minute setting up the vision, or they're actually just going to go for Hamination.
Yeah, Hamination, who's very far forward, and Toxic Fjord is going to be able to jump on him. Actually lands the Q while it was silent, or invisible, sorry. And now Hamination going to be invulnerable, though, as Toxic Fjord goes way too deep. And that's going to be Xavier with the instant Riptide going to be able to pick up the kill. And now that's Zarkra now going in with the ultimate from the Orianna. Party Duck being able to pick up the kill. That Shockwave landed on 2 people, as this is now in favor of TRA. Can they find any more kills as Elevator Duck is all alone? But Tempo is in the backside, able to pick off Hamination. Now Elevator Duck is going to drop for that, though. But Tempo there with a double kill. Can he get another one? He's not able to kill Party Duck, as that shutdown gold is going to go over to Zarkra. And all in all, that's a 4 for 2 in favor of TRA.
Yeah, that was just Toxic Fury going so deep. That's the risk with a Vi ult. Once you commit, there's no getting out, and you are just dragged as far as they are willing to take you. Hamination flashing towards his team, dragging Toxic Fiora all the way there. And then, of course, the Taric ult, keeping him alive.
And we see Taeyu not near the dragon, so we won't see any
so risky.
Any hero play like we saw from Max in the LCK. I don't know. Do you watch the LCK too much?
I haven't watched any professional league in a long time.
It was a support for who I don't remember the team, but I believe his name is Max. Which yeah, like you'd think Korean pro player, his IGN Max. But anyway, he was not only did he steal a Baron with a Thresh, just a random death sentence coming in, stole it. He then got a quadra kill with a support Scion. It was MVP, that's right. MVP is the team he plays for. It was amazing. Yeah, it's one thing I would definitely recommend. Try to find the Reddit video. They were on the top page of Reddit, and try to find the ones with the Korean casters, because they go insane when both of those happen.
They go insane over everything.
Oh yeah, true. Like if that were being killed, like they would have had 3 or 4 people. Like it's amazing. Like the weird thing about watching an LCK cast sometimes, it's like, oh, you see the 2 casters, but then you hear like 4 voices sometimes. I don't know where those extra people come from, but it's just so much intensity coming from LCK casters.
Yeah, it's true. Pretty great. Hey, I don't know. I don't know if it's something in the language or just the...
I think it's a culture thing.
Just the culture. Yeah. It's just they're able to get so much more hyped about everything. It's amazing.
Well, they do the same with sports too. If you watch like a Korean soccer match, let's just say, they do relatively the same thing. I don't know. It was the first that came to mind because I was reminded of the Olympics or World Cup when South Korea went pretty far, and like I was like, there was the option to watch it in like the native language. I was like, yeah, let's do that. One of the hypest soccer games I ever watched, and I don't watch a lot of soccer though, so that says something.
In Canada, we have Punjabi hockey casts. Those are pretty great too. Punjabi is such a fun language for sports casting.
Huh. I never listened to that. As far as I know.
Probably find some YouTube videos or whatever.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, not much going on here. We do have a slight goal lead now in favor of the Team Red Apple, which I would say is concerning for JAIDA, because when they had a lead, they didn't do anything with it. And, you know, that Vayne really can be a ticking time bomb if you don't win earlier.
Poppy is going to knock some people out, so nice use of that Keeper's Verdict is going to push 2 people out of that. So the siege is going to end right now. And, yeah, I wonder if this is just nerves coming out the side of JAIDA at this point, because we see them making just questionable calls at this point. As Elevator Duck going to get locked down. Nice ultimate coming out from Party Duck. but the re-engage might come out from JAIDA. The redemption is going to be used, but Tuxefiore is getting killed by Zarkra, and that's just going to be almost a 1v1 kill there going in favor. And Synth, also a little too far forward, is going to get dropped, so that's 2 free kills just about for TRA there, and they're positioning for the Baron now.
Yeah. Toxic Fiore decided to duel Zarkra off to the side. Zarkra is 5-0 and 7 right now. Absolutely massive. It meant that he died before he even got his ultimate off, and then they tried to chase it down, and whoa.
Yeah, very far forward, but Tempo is able to blow up Party Duck, but he gets locked down. The ultimate coming out from Taeyun just a little bit too late, as Elevator Duck is going to be the next one jumped on. So Taeyun, the only one alive at this point, but it did delay the Baron a little bit. Now Taeyun, can he make a hero play? He's going to try to do what he can, just delay a little bit to allow Toxafiore to get here, but that Baron being taken fairly quickly. I don't think the Vi is going to be able to get here in time. But the Janut, oh, that would have been an amazing play if he was going to be able to steal that. Perfect timing, but a nice, actually no, the smite was off. Hammond Nation was the one who took that Baron, so a little sloppy there by TRA, but they don't get punished.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm slightly ahead of you. So what time are you at right now?
I'm at 27:56. Let me see something. I am live,
okay.
Right?
28:03. Oh, did you? If you just went live after I slowed it down, I'm gonna be mad.
No, I'm at 28:10.
Okay.
But yeah, I just realized I'm like 6 seconds off live for some reason. Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, I don't know. Syncing the spectate client is the single most challenging part of shoutcasting League of Legends.
Yeah, you think it shouldn't be, but
it shouldn't be.
It's been a thing since whenever they added that in. But Synth getting jumped on the shockwave, not able to come out from Party Dog just yet. But there it goes. Does he have enough damage? Just not yet to finalize that kill. So that's a huge cooldown now, down by TRA. But that means Synth has to go back. He cannot stay and help to defend this siege, and that means that it's going to be a tower going in favor of TRA, and this gold lead now being blown apart. 4K in favor of Team Red Apple as they're continuing this siege.
Yeah, you're right. It's basically an ult and flash traded for a tower. That's pretty reasonable, and they're going to continue this. Actually, no, they're not going to continue it because they leave as soon as I say that. It looks like they may rotate to try to get the bottom tower here as Toxic Fiore gets caught a little.
Nice condemn into the wall there, but it's not really going to be able to be jumped on by the rest of his team. But here comes Synth getting jumped on yet again. He's been at roughly half health for the past 5 minutes, and he's back a couple times. But now Elevator Dunk going to be jumped on under tower.
Oh, not again.
Using that Q by Xavier yet again, but Party Duck is going to be jumped on by Toxic Fiore, so a trade kill, 1-for-1 mid laner for top laner. Think it's worth it for JAIDA at this point as they're going to delay this Baron, but as Zarkra goes forward and is able to get out alive. Toxafiore trying to get that trade kill, but the nice ultimate coming out from Nautilus for a double knockup. Now Toxafiore being locked down is going to be able to live. Synth is now here, but he's not full health. Can he play safely enough? And Hamination going to get jumped on by Tempo. Tempo picks up that kill. Nice job by the mid laner for JAIDA as Zarkra's going to jump forward. Can he get the trade kill? Zonia is being used by Tempo. Didn't even realize he picked up that item, but it's still going to drop. And now Xavier really far forward. Doesn't have his team with him. Just Sifo. He gets the stun off. Can he get enough damage off? It looks like he might drop it. A blast cone is going to take him over the wall. Now Zarkra is able to jump over as well. Ace in the hole. Will it find a kill? It won't, but Toxafiore is here. Does he get the damage? No! Zarkra just kills him straight up. And that means it's going to be in favor now of TRA as they pick up this Cloud Drake.
What a chaotic fight. Yeah, it's going to be a 3-for-1 overall as this fight has gone on so long that Elevator Dunk has respawned. Chose to go top lane, however, and not teleport into that fight. Which is interesting because they had plenty of ward options to get him in there, so they just kept him out. And Elevator Dunk keeps trying to eject Xavier. It's not working.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do that anymore. And
but that was such a wild fight. Basically, the number of shields that JAIDA can get out between Poppy, Vi, and Janna, and Victor, meant that they were able to keep coming back into that fight when their shield cooldowns came up, and that's what really kept it close. It's just how drawn out and extended that fight was, meant they maximized their shields there. But still, 1 for 3 going against them because they just couldn't finish anyone off after they got Hamination.
Yeah, not only that, but I think Toxafiore just it happens where he just zones in on someone. He just tunnels too hard, and we saw it right at the end there where he just tried walking through Zarkra to pick up the kill on Xavier, and Zarkra just killed him straight up. And that's something that Toxifiora does have to work on at this point, is try to not only play a little safer, but just not to tunnel.
Yep. Zarkra actually smited the Scuttlecrab to keep him healthy in that situation. So was able to get some health back and turn it around on Toxic Fiora. But now he's 9-0-8. Going for a mix of tankiness and offense. I like his build, and supplemented by Party Duck on Orianna. Could be a pretty big threat in the middle of that team. Plus, come to think of it, of course they have Taric as well. So if you have an invincible Kha'Zix in the middle of your team, that's pretty scary, potentially.
Oh, extremely scary. And speaking of scary, we see this gold league now roughly around 4K, so a great Baron power play coming out from TRA. They were able to open up this gold lead finally in their favor. And just looking at the kills right now, it's not looking too good for JAIDA at this point, where all their gold is on Tempo at this point. And you see the CS helping out Synth, though, as he's even with items with Hemination.
It's not the worst thing in the world for Tempo to have all the gold, because they're going to need him to kill Hemination at this point.
That's true.
I mean, it really what it comes down to. Toxic Fiora is not going to be strong enough. And we've seen some interesting target selection, let's say.
That's going to be a shockwave from Party Duck onto Toxic Fiora, who's now going to go forward. He's actually pretty low, but Redemption is going to be able to equal out this fight, but he knocks out. Xavier stays here yet again. He is not going to be ulted away at all this game, but this GA going to be used. Party Duck is extremely low. Now Toxic Fiora pulls the trigger, goes in forward, but the exhaust is going to keep Party Duck alive. Xavier, though, is going to be all alone as they had to go back. His Tempo is going to be able to pick up that kill, but Hemination in the backside now on this Vayne doing so much work. Tempo, though, able to take him out. No, that was actually Synth in the backside doing so much work on this Caitlyn, so much damage, and it's just going to be a 3-for-3 even fight there as this gold lead stays the same.
Yeah, wow. 3-for-3 is pretty good for JAIDA right now, because I mean, at this point they need Synth to be in it. They have Tempo. He can eliminate Hemination, as we saw again. Hemination got the flank. I think he got a kill or two, but then was taken down pretty quickly. But really the trouble is going to be getting through Xavier, getting through Zarkra. Tempo's not going to be able to burst either of them, so they need Synth in this game. As you said, he's got big farm numbers. 80% crit, so he's doing pretty well. But we'll need a Last Whisper item and then some lifesteal to stay super safe.
And Xavier at this point, I believe, is what, 3-for-3 at dodging these ultimates from Poppy? Well, not technically, he's not dodging, just hooking out of it. And he's been doing a great job on this Nautilus, and it's been really rough here for Elevator Dunk. As we see Toxic Fiora being jumped on by Zarkra. Nice, actually, flash there. Not going to gamble just the Q. He realized that if he was going to Q, that Zarkra was going to stop that knockup. And if I'm looking at that correctly, I can't tell if it's skin or not, but did he upgrade his ultimate?
What are we talking about?
Zarkra. You could you get 3 upgrades? He looked red.
No, sorry. No, he's not red.
That's just a skin, okay.
I know, he does. Yeah, he has some redness going on, but it's not from upgrading his ultimate.
So yeah, he upgraded QWE, which is probably he went QEW, standard, which is very standard,
The ultimate is pretty gimmicky. I don't know anyone who really likes that. But yeah, I just want to say on the Xavier thing, the first time he did it, some people may say, it was an accident, but now he's done it all 3 times that he's been ulted. So clearly, he's got the Nautilus mechanics down. Knows this matchup pretty well.
I really hope we stay on this fight for a while. Look at this. They're not even, like Elevator Dunk stunned him twice now and did, what, a 16th of his health?
If even.
Yeah,
we have a Baron start here. That's not going to last, though.
Yeah, I don't really agree with this. And now Sifo is away from his team, so this allows JAIDA having a little bit of pressure relieved to put down wards so that they could at least see if they go back for this Baron attempt. And yeah, this is just delaying. Ever since that fight, a 1,000 extra went in the favor of TRA, but when they're ahead for this long at that stage of the game, they need to open up that gold lead. They can't just be happy with just staying at 4th, 5,000. But Synth going to be jumped on there by Xavier. Just wrong place, wrong time there by the Caitlyn. He's going to drop. Nice assassination there coming out from Zarkra and Hamination as this fight will now start from TRA. They use Sifo, and there we go, finally knocking Xavier out of the fight. And that means that TRA can't continue. They're going to go back to the Siege, it looks like, and maybe going for Baron.
Just go for Baron now as they do get Synth out of the way. That was just poor recognition of Nautilus walking up. You know, you're so used to top laners teleporting in, they can still walk. Just walks right on top of Synth, and you can't escape that. He did as well as he could, trying not to burn the flash until most of the CC had come out, but he still didn't account for the ultimate, and they're going to re-engage the fight.
Fired up, though, gets jumped up, and Shockwave landing on 4 players, but Tempo is able to pick him out. Their redemption is going to heal them to allow this fight to continue on. It's a 4v4 right now. Synth is going to respawn soon enough, but will the fight last that long? Zarkar going for the assassination is going to kill Tempo, and he's just going off on the back line now of JAIDA as he's going to help get another kill. As Toxic Fiora is going to be able to get out alive. Taeyun is definitely not, as Sifo picks that one up, and that's going to be a 1 for 3 after Party Duck with a 4-man Shockwave, and now Synth all alone, not going to be able to protect his tower. Zarkar going forward is going to just chunk him down, and that's going to be Synth getting blown up. Hamination picks up that kill as the gold lead is now going to expand, practically doubling for Team Red Apple.
That's just unfortunate. You die to Nautilus to ult, you come back, you spawn, and then he ults you again. What's the cooldown on that thing? But yeah, that fight was over as it started. Party Duck with a huge 4-man ultimate, and it looks like this game could be done too.
Yeah, they're going to go for it with 4 members still down. Toxic Fiora the only one alive. They're going to be able to take down this Nexus Tower extremely quickly. Now, yeah, I think this actually might be game. Toxic Fiora is just going to try to delay as long as he can because we see Tempo and Taeyun be coming up alive right now, but the Nexus is already down to half health. It should be game in favor of TRA if they can find the damage, and they can. Hamination ends it. That's going to be game 1 going over to Team Red Apple.
That was pretty well played. It's going back to, this is not your typical 7th seed. But that was still a very winnable game, honestly, by Team JAIDA. They didn't recognize the lead that they had. You said they were behind in kills, but they were ahead in gold at times. They didn't push it where they should, and they just... The dilemma of the Vi, right? You see a target, you press R, and then you find out you're 20 meters away under a tower because you can't say no once you start. And that led them to some unfortunate team fights. I really didn't see a single solid Vi ultimate that game, honestly. I can't think of a single time.
At the late stages of the game, yeah, there really wasn't too much available.
Well, and I'm talking the early stages. What's going on?
There we go.
What's going on, Rudy?
I just, for some reason, OBS is telling me that the window that my client is on doesn't exist, so I can't edit it. Like, it was just for the longest time. It's like, it's not here, but it's on the screen. So OBS is messing up. That's basically all that's happening. So we'll at least be able to see the damage here. And yeah, this shown, Zarkra on this Kha'Zix doing so much work. Tempo trying to bring his game into it, just really wasn't able to. Almost turned that fight around. He was able to blow up Party Duck, but just not quick enough as Party Duck got that ultimate off, and that was the end of the fight at that point. Alright, so we're going to go back right into the lobby for the next game, and this is a big game for both teams. If we see Team Red Apple, if they win this next one, they win. It's over. That means they make it into the end of the year LAN, most likely. Like we said, 90% earlier is what we're estimating here.
I haven't officially checked those numbers, but there's a good chance.
I don't even know if there are numbers to check in that case, but anyway, very, very likely if they win this next game, they move on to the spring LAN. That is, unless we see an upset from, I believe it's WSND. And JAIDA here, if they don't want to be upset it, They are going to have to pull through and win this next one. Actually, win the next two.
Yeah, they got to win 2 in a row. Tough to do against a team as good as the Red Apple, but they have. We saw how well Tempo was doing that game, and if they can support him better, or maybe build a comp around Tempo, perhaps, or maybe this is the Victor. He's just so good on the Victor. I don't know if he gets it again because he did really well into the Oriana matchup, and it was almost a problem point for the Red Apple. We'll see. Looks like we have a brief wait.
Which is rare. Usually we get right into these and we go right into it. But this time around we're going to have a brief time to just stop by and... I don't even know what that means. But anyway, if I was Team Red Apple here, I just wouldn't give Tempo the Victor. I feel like he was really the only saving grace of that last game. He was the one dishing out most of that damage in the last game. And if you take him off Victor, what else does JAIDA have? They're going to have Tempo off as someone who he doesn't play a lot, possibly the Oriana. And if you first pick it, that's his first 2 champions now just obsolete.
Yeah. It is interesting. Just looking at it straight up, you see the only diamond player on the team, Tempo. Champion, he plays so much more than everyone else. Victor. And you let him have it. And it was almost an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they could not take the lead that they made and convert it into a bigger lead, which is something you have to do against Vayne teams. And you absolutely can do, since Vayne means you don't have much wave clear. And she's definitely exploitable in the early game, but they didn't get it done.
Exactly that, and we'll have to see if JAIDA here can turn it around. They 100% have to at this point. If they lose the next game, this is a very early end of the season for them. Yeah. This is one thing. Whenever you talk about teams and all that, JAIDA was a team that we've been saying probably since last year at Last Land, saying I think they were out. They were either out quarterfinals or semifinals. I forget which. I forget who they were knocked out by, but then we were always thinking, hey, this is still a fairly young team. They'll be back next year, and they'll be better than they were. And if they're knocked out here, then they won't be, and it's going to be an extremely shocking thing to see them not at the end of the year land.
Yep, but of course, it is unfortunate they got the 2nd seed and just by circumstance got probably realistically a top 4 team in that 7th seed.
Top 4, at least top 5. That's not a 7th seed. And again, my client, what's going on here? Come on. All right, I'm going to fix this if you want to talk about champ select while I'm trying to fix it.
All right, we got Jarvan being banned again. I think that's Elevator Dunk, or is it Toxic Fiora? I can't. Yeah, no, it's Toxic Fiora. That's Dig Baron. He plays a lot of Jarvan. We have the Zed and we have the Ahri. So the Victor has escaped ban so far. And Oriana is still available as well. Jarvan, Zed, Ahri, banned for Team Red Apple. Graves, Rengar, and now Taric. I like the Taric ban, actually, because that caused them a lot of problems. They were relying on Vi to really do some damage, and when she jumped onto Ham Nation, a lot of the time, she was invincible by the time they got there. And that really ruins your day. So taking Taric out as opposed to, looking at it like Vayne was the issue, I think it's pretty smart. But we do see Lulu locked in immediately as that escape bans, and Tempo does not pick Victor.
Interesting, actually. I guess he wanted to play something that he could play more as a passive role if need be, so he could actually play defensive. Because Victor's one of those where you kind of have to just go forward, go for the kills. You have ways to be defensive, but not as well as Oriana. And we've seen the Shockwaves deal so much damage. So not only is this a big pickup for Tempo as his 2nd most played champion, but this is taking it away from Party Duck, who we've seen almost exclusively on Oriana throughout here. And this Lulu pick, I really do like this, because they can still go with the Vayne if they want to, and Lulu's going to be able to empower the Vayne still.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a Callista hover right now. I'm wondering if that goes through.
I'm going to say no.
Oriana versus Victor, the one thing is, Oriana has a much harder time, just blowing up one person. Like, we were talking about with that Q Lichbane auto attack combination from Victor. Oriana's got to hit some skill shots, got to place the ball in Kindred. Callista is really tough to lock down because she jumps all over the place. Yeah, Kha'Zix again, that would not be surprising at all. Lulu instead of Oriana and Taric will still mean he can be buffed up as needed. And I mean, when you go 10-0 on a champion and they don't ban it the next game, no reason not to take it again. And similar, Xavier did really well in the Nautilus. We saw that he's very comfortable in that champion, particularly the Nautilus Poppy matchup, landing the hook pretty much every time he got ulted by Poppy. So definitely something he's comfortable with. He did very well. Missed his keystone, so maybe better in game than he is at Champ Select, but it didn't show. So far so good.
Yeah, this is the game. I would love to see actually Elevator Dunk maybe bring out one of his carries, or something that could actually beat up on the Nautilus. We see that he has played Trundle and Camille quite a bit, and even Olaf as well. So I would love to see these champions being picked up by Elevator Dunk here, just to try to beat up on this top lane. If Taeyun goes with the Tahm Kench, this is a lot different than what we've seen him play. But I love it. We've seen so many times Synth getting caught out, getting blown up, and the fight is just over at that point because you're missing a Caitlyn. Tahm Kench is now going to be able to protect Synth here, and I'm really liking the pickup from Taeyun.
Yeah, you're right, and it's going to be Zach here from Toxic Fiora this time. Very similar to the Vi. Can go in, but can't really get out. But this time, you go where you want to go, right? You land in an area as opposed to a champion wherever how far that person goes. And going to be tankier than Vi. So they pick up initiation. The Zac Oriana combo, if well executed, of course, can be very potent. And yeah, of course, the Tahm Kench just provides safety. That's really all there is to it. You want to kill this AD carry? Too bad. I ate her. Because that's how you protect people, I guess.
Yeah.
In League of Legends, you eat them. Yeah. Sounds legit. Vladimir's being hovered. And did someone... Oh, no. The last second, they're going back with Vayne. Along with Vladimir. Okay.
I don't know how I feel about this. I'm trying to think. I think Vladimir does do fairly well against the Oriana. Because one thing that's always aggressive about Oriana, if she lands Dissonance on you, and then Command Shockwave is almost guaranteed unless you flash away. Not against a Vladimir, though, who's able to just pull at any time, dodging a lot of damage. And no matter how far caught out he is, he's going to be able to get away. So I do like the pickup here from Party Duck. It's going to do a lot against Oriana. As much as I hate Vladimir's, I agree with the pick here. Against an Oriana, I think it goes strong.
I don't know if I quite agree with you. Because, I mean, he'll survive, which is fine. Like, he probably won't be zoned too hard. But Oriana is similar to Anivia, which is a classic Vlad counter. Because at the end of the day, if Vlad wants to do damage, he needs to walk up to you and press Q. And that's really easy to just go QW right in his face. It's hard to miss a skill shot when they're walking directly towards you. And this is more for the late game team fights, I think. Just to add a little bit more tankiness, a forward threat that can kind of scatter the enemy team and create an environment where someone like Vayne can flourish. And yeah, Elevator Dunk goes with Maokai. Okay. I was going to say the Maokai wasn't banned this time, like it was last time, and I'm not too surprised to see him go on that. Not as exciting as you were saying, looking for a carry of some kind. It's just Maokai. Sorry.
I do like the Maokai too, though. He's always a big top laner, big threat. Really not anything going to have in the top side, but there's just a lot of lockdown presence. And the one thing out of the side from JAIDA, they have Tempo and Synth who are going to be able to dish out a lot of damage, and then just 3 massive tanks protecting them. And then you see on the side of TRA, it's almost completely different. They have one Nautilus who's going to be very tanky. They have a Lulu who's going to be able to empower everybody else. But then you're going to have 3 people who are going to just try to go out and dish out the damage.
Yeah, but Vlad gets fairly tanky too. Like, I get him on ARAMs a lot, and it's not uncommon that I'm like most damage taken and most damage dealt at the same time. And he's an absurd champion in the right situations. And, you know, you're talking about the team, 3 tanks. Well, you know who kills tanks really well?
Vayne. 100%.
Vayne.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, if I'm Vayne right now, you know, there is a bit of hard lockdown, of course, with the Maokai and the W. And the potential to be followed up by a Shockwave, but I'm not too concerned here because the Nautilus, huge front line. Lulu is just second best peel champion in the game, and you know, now with the attack speed buff on her W, getting extra attack speed and movement speed at the same time from one spell, that's craziness. And you know, synergizes with Vayne better than maybe any other AD carry because she loves movement speed more than most. And then attack speed, of course, just means more W procs to melt those tanks.
Yeah.
So once again, they need to kill Hamination. And this time they don't have Victor. They don't have the one person with they can really lock it down. They didn't bring the Vi. It's a lot of area effects, right? They got Orianna. They got Zac. Tom Kench isn't going to do anything to kill the Vayne. And it's the Maokai W. That's what they have. So if they can kill Hamination in the time that he's locked down by Elevator Dunk, they'll do well. But with Lulu, that's the big ask.
Yeah, so with about 30 seconds left, we're going to just take one quick break, play a little bit of music while the loading screen goes through. Gives us time to just quick grab some water and come back and get ready for this next game where JAIDA, this is a must-win game for them. If they're not able to do it, that means TRA is going to move over to the semifinals and potentially the end of the year land. So we'll be back in a few seconds for this matchup.
Seems far gone all around us. Light runs rare and can't compare to all this darkness. No one can tame our past of shame, it's all that we know.
Alright guys, we are going to be back for this game. Like we said, must win here for JAIDA, as if they lose, they're going to be kicked out. And we'll have to see if TRA is able to win this and move on to the spring LAN. And if you guys just joined in, my name is Rudy. I'm joined here by Doug, and this is going to be a really exciting game.
I agree. It's all or nothing here. Well, I guess not. They need to win, as you said.
Yeah.
So it's an absolutely vital game. I just want to check real quick. What time are you at? Let's see if
I
we
am
can start
at
now.
45.
Oh, well, that means we're at the same time.
For now.
Let's see how long that lasts.
I might test something out halfway through. I just did get the Overwolf replay HUD, and we'll see if that works for spectator view as well. I haven't tried it out yet, so I've been doing it in fun as ranked games lately. It's great to find out, like, hey, why did I die there? And like, oh, somehow a Vayne flanked me and killed me instantly. Like that, it's great to be able to look back and see like how you messed up. One thing here that I find kind of interesting with is, but it makes a lot of sense, is Party Duck starting with that Dark Seal, and it's going to help him have a lot of sustainability in lane. But he didn't get something like a refillable potion with that as well. It's just pots.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice, going heavy on the sustain. See how that works. Early trade goes to him as Tempo a little bit slow on that shield. I like how much discussion has been spawned in chat about this matchup.
Yeah,
once again, actually slow on the shield here. Not starting out great level 1.
Yeah, as the discussion just continues here in the middle of the fight. But Tempo showing how the early aggression does go over in Vlad's favor and just doing quite a bit there to Tempo. And the main thing is what happens in the mid game. Who's it going to go in favor for? Tempo, though, at this point, having a rough time, getting harassed quite a bit, but CSing pretty healthily there. Synth here on the bot side as well, taking a little bit of harass from the Lulu, but that's just what Lulu does.
Yeah, I think in terms of who's going to be better in the mid game, it's pretty much always Orianna for that one, unless Vlad gets a huge lead. Vlad has a bit of a dip at 25 to 30 minutes before he starts scaling up again. Once he gets that 40% CDR and some damage to go with it, he can be pretty scary.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It is terrifying as we see this fight in the bot side. Sifo, though, that's going to be a lot of damage going your way as Synth is able to land the combo right in his face. And, yeah, that's not the greatest start for Lulu. He's going to be able to heal that up with all of his pots, but wasting almost all your pots at 3 minutes, not the greatest start to the landing phase.
I guess he was just trying to buy Hamination some space to avoid the Caitlyn harass. We saw, of course, the Caitlyn Vayne matchup last game.
Toxic Fiora's up here. Yeah, he's not going to be able to land the knockup, so Xavier might actually be able to get away with this. And yeah, without landing that elastic slingshot, he's just going to walk away. So just giving a little bit of pressure there over to elevator dunk, but no kill pressure. So that is just going to be a relatively failed gank. And that was just really good from Xavier. I don't know if he saw the gank coming and walked forward to dodge the slingshot, or if he was just going up to take a minion. It was just a great timing. Who knows? But yeah, Xavier, that's a possibility too. Maybe just a complete miss by Toxic Fiora. Who knows what all in all is the final
elevator
reason
dunk. I
for
believe
that.
had just recently used the W too, so they didn't have that available to lock down Xavier there. So not the best timing on the gank, and they don't get anything out of it other than, as you said, a bit of damage. And this mid lane matchup's pretty even so far.
Yeah, now Synth does take quite a bit of harass there by Hamination and Sifo. And he's going to be down below half health now. He does have Warlords, so that's going to help him a little bit here and there. But we do see Hamination. Thought he was going to go forward on that, but kind of just fakes Synth out. Both summoner spells available for actually everybody on the map at this point, so they're not going to go too aggressive just yet. Unless they know for a fact they can get kills, or summoner spells. His Tempo going to be jumped on. Speaking of summoner spells, had to blow his ghost already, so a relatively successful gank coming out from Zarka, getting that ghost away from Tempo.
Yeah, Tempo is pretty much out of mana here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back off pretty soon. Toxic Fiora, you don't...
Oh, we have a scuttle fight as we do see Zarkra pick that up. Toxic Fiora, though, for some reason still wants his duel against the Kha'Zix.
The Kha'Zix. I don't know what he's doing, but he takes more damage there, and then they both walk away. Elevator Dunk having a bit of a better lane than he was last game. As you can see, Party Duck starting to get the worst for wear against a manaless Orianna.
Yeah, this Orianna not really going to have too much more kill pressure in the mid lane. Her auto attacks do quite a bit. Synth, though, being low in mana, I don't know if they can actually go for this fight, but no, we do see Hamination gets eaten by Pateyun, though, so force the heal already as well as the exhaust. Can Taeyun go in for the kill? It's very close and force the flash away, actually. Does he have the Vour up in time to get Sifo as well? Doesn't look like it, but great job from the bot lane out of JAIDA, getting 3 summoner spells out of the side of Team Red Apple.
Yeah, that's... You can't do that against Tom Kent. You can't let him get 3 stacks or you're going to be in trouble. They have to burn the flash. 3 summoner spells total for, I don't think, anything used. They managed to save all their summoner spells. They recognized that they were coming out in favor of the trade and didn't need to do anything. And now there's a bit of a CS lead. It'll even out, of course, with the fact that the wave is coming up to the tower. I wouldn't just want to stay too long, though, because a full health Vayne can chase you up lane pretty easily. Yeah,
I think they had to back off at this point. They just wanted to shove the wave. It is going to be a little rough here for Vayne to farm under tower. But she should be relatively safe here. Yeah, she's going to miss a few of these minion waves, or minions, so that's pretty big. And we see quite a big CS lead going in favor for that Caitlyn, but like we said in the past, it's a Caitlyn. That's fairly standard.
Yeah, we can see. I mean, Vlad does not have much range here, so when Oriana is just able to walk up, QW outranges most of Vlad's abilities. I think everything, and that's why I put this in Oriana favorites.
Yeah. So the time
it's only
where...
a slight lead now. Once she gets more mana, that's really when I think she'll start.
Yeah.
Making this difficult for Party Duck. He doesn't have a whole bunch of sustain until later. There really is a lot less sustain in his queue than there used to be.
I am very shocked that he's still here, but that's because... Yeah, why is Tempo still here? He has to have enough... He has 1,700 gold, but he's actually going to walk forward. That's a lot of damage going on to Tempo there as the ultimate comes through, and that's going to be Zarka, coming in to pick up the kill, just... For some reason, not sure why Tempo was that far forward with no mana, no items. Tried to get a kill there, but Party Duck was able to dodge most of the damage, and that just means that Tempo is going to drop first blood, giving over to Team Red Apple. And that's a... Party Duck was the one to get it too, and that's someone who you don't want first blood to go on to.
Yeah, staying at half health on a champion like Oriana, who only has the flash to escape, is pretty risky, as we saw. Easy gank there. And once Vlad hits 6, he can do a lot of damage with that Hemo Plague. Yeah, I would call that a mistake. I mean, that's overstaying. Oriana loves to have mana to bully people around, and when she's half health and low mana, you're not doing a lot in lane. But I think he thought he was winning harder than he was. Like, you know, he saw the fact that he was doing so much damage, and he was pushing Party Duck out, and then just ignored the threat. And now he's top lane.
Yeah, Tempo up here for a gank on Xavier, who's going to try to do what he can. He's actually going to try to trade this right now. Tempo already at half health, but the shockwave going to come through. I don't think Xavier's going to be able to get out of this, and he flashed anyway. Tempo is able to pick up a kill on the top side. Great for him, as he's going to even out kills in this mid lane, but we do see Party Duck is going to be able to push the tower now, so that's going to cost a lot of turret damage unless Toxifiora can come in to protect it.
No, he is mid. I think so. I don't know. I don't think they're going to push that too hard, as it looks like they're going to try to go for a roam bot, or no. Party Duck's kind of just sitting around in the jungle.
That might have been just one of those things, just be off the map to just to be a threat. It's like, if you're off the map, they have no clue where you are. And yeah, so a mistake in the mid lane by Tempo of staying, but then I believe a mistake in the top lane by Xavier for trying to... It looked like he wanted to try to trade a kill onto Tempo, realized he had nowhere close enough damage, and then tried flashing away. If he just tried walking away... Yeah, if he just tried walking away, he had a chance of getting out there, and then when he realized he was dead, he shouldn't have flashed.
Yeah, I agree. The flash was just bad timing. Shouldn't have bothered. Should have accepted his fate at that point. I don't know if it'll cost him. That's obviously something we need to see Toxic Fiora. Well, it could cost him here.
Yeah, as he's completely away from the rest of his team and completely caught out too, as he's going to get locked down by Elevator Dunk. Toxic Fiora does have the Elastic Slingshot available as well. And the Dredge Line being used aggressively there is now not... Or, oh, they just used it there, so he's not going to be able to get away. So that's going to be another kill onto Xavier there. Just wrong place, wrong time as he gets chunked down. Now, bot side, Summoner Spell is blown on Synth as he's going to be missing both his flash and his heal, as Tay even had to use Exhaust as well. So Hamination and Sifo there had to try something. They used both of their ultimates. And nice use of the ultimate there from Tom Kench to get away. I don't think I've ever seen an ultimate like that, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Tom Kench can do. I really don't see many Tom Kench ultimates. I haven't ever seen that part of his kit really put to good use, but that's about as good as you're going to get. It looks like they're going to have to give up this tower here. I don't think they'll be able to respond to this, as that was just good work by Hamination and Sifu. Harassing Synth and Taeon to a point where they could easily threaten that dive and pick up the tower.
And yeah, it looks like
they respond with Rift Herald.
Yeah. We didn't see last game. There was no Rift Herald, and the PSU LCS is known for getting quite a bit of Rift Heralds, actually. So, kind of surprised that it was not taken first game, but second game, it will go over to Elevator Dunk here, and this is just going to make it a lot harder for Xavier now to stay in lane.
Yeah. They have Zac and Maokai. That's like the worst Rift Herald team possible.
Possibly.
I mean, it'll help him a little bit. Elevator Dunk will have a bit more of an advantage over Xavier, as he does have the slight CS lead, and of course, 2 deaths on Xavier. Not doing quite as well as he did the last game. So Keystones is not the key to everything. He was doing better without a Keystone.
Yeah. So by process of statistics here, since we've seen 2 games, one without, one with, and he's doing better without it. So yeah, everybody run your 12-0-17 mastery pages, because we have just confirmed that Keystones are actually worse than not having them at all.
Yeah, here we go. They're going to respond with their own 4-person siege here in the mid, and they're going to try to fight this.
Yeah, Party Duck actually going to try to protect this, but he takes so much damage. The Shockwave coming in as well. So much damage coming in. Toxic Fiora, though, going to be far forward, but he does have his passive available, forcing the ultimate away from him as well. So a lot of damage onto Synth and Tempo as well. And without mana, without health, they're going to have to back off as Xavier comes in here. And that's going to be Synth being taken down solo. Zarkra not even get the assassination as Taeyun saves the AD carry and gets the kill. This Tom Kench can do it all as Taeyun going to go. He's a little bloodthirsty right now. He wants to try to get another one, but he forces the flash away instead. Xavier not able to find the kill there, and Zarkra got baited there by the Tom Kench.
Yeah, we saw JAIDA frequently overcommit onto the Vayne with a Taric last game. This time, flashing forward to kill a Caitlyn who has a Tom Kench right there is a risky proposition, and they actually come out on top in that fight. They don't get the tower, and they're not in a position where they could start this Mountain Drake.
Oh, Taeyun gets interrupted. He's fairly tanky though, so he might be able to get out. And he has his Caitlyn to back him off, so he's going to be able to get out of there, but that does delay the backs for the Tom Kench. So this gives a lot of pressure now over to TRA to do whatever they want to this Dragon. And yeah, this could be their second tower of the game right now, and potentially evening out this goal lead. Even though it's 3-1, you are going to see it sooner or later go in favor of TRA as the tower doesn't drop just yet. And actually, it looks like they might not be able to get it just yet, so I had to check back on Hamination to see what he was doing there, but that might be a little bit of a misplay. I feel like he could have taken that.
Quite possibly. I think in the Vayne versus Maokai matchup, she's probably pretty safe to go back and get that here. He may be able to wave clear enough to keep her off the tower, but nonetheless, I think just extra time for Hamination in this top lane, free from any sort of harass from Caitlyn. It's a smart move. Just get Vayne caught up, and they are going to try to fight.
And the Elevator Dunk just try and do a little bit of harassment there to try to push Hamination away from this tower, and that's going to mean that Hamination does get it. And the turret shot doesn't go in. But we do see Zarkra coming up here, but a lot of damage coming out. Hamination going so low. Elevator Dunk though misses the Q. That would have been the killing blow, and now he has to try to run away. Zarkra though going for the kill is going to be able to get it. Just that miss Q would have been the difference in that top lane fight. And that means that it's going to be a 1-for-0 trade. And the tower Shockwave landing on 2 people as Sifo is so low, and he's going to drop eventually as Party Duck is between the entire team there. Not able to do too much. Not able to kill Taeyun as Temple gets another kill for himself. 2-1-2 now on this Orianna. That means that JAIDA now has control of the map. They're going to finally get this mid lane tower. And we'll have to see what else they go for. Possibly Dragon.
Probably will be a Mountain Drake here. They pinged on to Zarkra, but I don't think that's going to be their target yet. They're going to go for the Mountain Drake. I think they should be able to get it. Sifu and Party Duck are so far removed from this fight, and they're going to try to just respond with a return tower here in the mid lane.
I do like this idea if I'm TRA. They realize that they're not going to be able to get the Mountain Drake or really do anything about it, so they try to get at least some damage down. And really at that point, there's not really much else you can do unless you want to go for a very, very risky attempt to steal or defend that dragon. So they went with the safe play, just get some damage down and back off when they answer to it. And yeah, so this is going to really help out JAIDA as they pick up a dragon and a 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, when you go for those spread out plays, it's potential that they just make a mistake outright. Like, you can force them into splitting up too much, committing to saving the tower, but they play it smart. Just Tempo walks there and clears the wave. Not much more to do. They could dive this tower, though, but Synth is here. That may be a mistake.
Yeah, they're going to go for it, but here comes Synth. He has a lot of damage, and yeah, they're going to have to back off right away. They do get the flash wave, but Zarkra taking a lot of damage from the shockwave, and Synth just raining down damage with just old-fashioned auto attacks from the Caitlyn. Toxic Fiora, we saw him winding up, but I think he learned from the first game, and he's going to back off.
I think Tempo probably made a bit of a misplay, flashing out immediately and saving that ultimate. There was a time where I'm pretty sure he could have ulted. I guess it would have been Party Duck who had tower aggro, so obviously Vladimir. I'm surprised they managed to get out without getting killed. But I suppose that's the power of Vladimir here.
Yeah, and as Crisis in chat, in the first game, we saw JAIDA get a goal lead, and then they just really sat on it, not doing anything, allowing TRA to come back. This time, TRA kind of had an early game advantage, but then they started forcing a lot of things, and it's really costing them at this point. And this time, JAIDA now has a 2,000 goal lead, and we'll have to see if they're actually able to get something off of it this time and not just sit on it.
Yeah, for instance, when they were making the play up top with Hamination and Zarkra, they really had no business being anywhere but under tower with the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting here, though. You know, they don't have a ton of wave clear. Party Duck, you know, Vlad can clear a wave, but he needs to walk pretty much right up to it. And obviously, Vayne is not going to provide any wave clear at all. So, without the Orianna this game, these situations could get much more risky when they are sending Hamination off the split push, for instance.
Yeah, one thing though, Hamination picking up that Blade of the Ruin King and getting a lot more attack speed off of it. She's going to be a tank killer. And the teleport's going to come in. Party Duck going to go forward onto Synth, but not going to be able to get the damage down just yet as the Orianna is here to protect her. Now Party Duck going very aggressively, forcing the flash actually away, but the fight is now going on to Sifo as she's going to get blown up. The Lulu is now gone. Now Party Duck, without his summoner spells, is going to be dropped as well very shortly. Can he get a trade kill? Taeyun's so low, but the double kill going over and the side of Elevator Dunk, but that's going to be overall a 1-for-3 in favor of JAIDA as we do see Elevator Dunk now going on to Zarkra. The knockup coming out from Toxic Fiora. That don't think this is going to be an alive Kha'Zix for much longer. That's it. Toxic Fiora able to pick it up as it's a 1-for-4 trade now at this point. And they're going to continue this siege, and this is just going to be so much in favor for JAIDA at this point.
Yeah, no hesitation this time from Team JAIDA, recognizing when they had the advantage. Party Duck was a bit too far out without a tower, and unfortunately they tried to bring the whole team to support him, but it wasn't enough. They gave up 3 or 4 kills. They lose a second tower there in the mid lane. And now we're talking about a 5,000 gold lead here, or close to, for Team JAIDA.
Yeah, 4.5 at this point. And it's just, like you said, in favor of Team JAIDA right now. As long as they're going to be able to continue increasing this lead, they should be able to force a game 3 here. And at this point, TRA now is going to be playing on a back foot, and they can't force as much as they have been. They have to now play under tower. They have to play very conservatively, and if not, this goal lead is just going to expand for JAIDA.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Vladimir, Party Duck, I believe he only has 10% CDR right now. I don't think 15% actually. I'm curious if that's intelligence or some scaling runes or maybe flat runes. I don't know. But they have a ways to go before obviously Vayne takes off, and Vladimir as well. He only has the proto belt completed. He'll need a few more items before he can be effective. And now it's time to make some moves. They're going on the bot lane tower on the outside. They should be able to clear that out pretty quickly. And if Hamination goes too deep here,
this is not looking good for him.
They don't have any damage with that, but
and they're just going to back off for now. And actually, it looks like they're going to turn their attention in the mid lane instead, as we see 3 people for TRA try to siege at their own, as Synth and Elevator Duck is in the bot side. This should be pretty safe here for Synth to take out this tower, and we see TRA, they tried something mid, but they're not able to commit at this point.
Synth needs to be careful.
Yeah, this might be a 1v1 that he doesn't want. Elevator Dunk's here, but that's going to be Hamination getting an easy 1v1 there, as the Vayne just does so much damage, and that means that now there's so much pressure topside for TRA to go for a tower here, and very slow rotation coming out from JAIDA. This might just be a tier 2 tower very easily for JAIDA. Abyssal Voyage is going to come out though, And they're going to continue on. They're going to go and try to dive onto the backside here. Taeyun doing so much work. Can he get the stun off? He can. And the shockwave forward by Zarkra. Or onto Zarkra there, sorry. And that just doesn't mean enough damage, though, as Tempo going to be jumped on here. This is actually looking very good for TRA. So many people low on the side of JAIDA, as Xavier is trying to kill Tempo at this point, but he's not able to. Back over here as another stage of the fight, Toxifior is forced to jump out of there, as Elevator Duck is so tanky at this point, but he's the only one with a full health bar. And that just means that really no one's going to drop in the middle of this fight.
Yeah, engaging without Synth is going to be really, really tricky. It's just when you have 3 tanks on your team.
Ooh, Hammond Nation walks onto a trap under tower, and that just means Synth gets the trade kill 1v1. A little bit help with the tower, but that just means that Hammond Nation went a little too deep there. I feel like he could have gotten that kill if he didn't just tumble onto a trap.
Yeah, he did get the stun. Synth positioned himself a little bit awkwardly to give up the free wall stun, but yeah, you generally don't step on a trap. Yeah, Vayne spotting. 1,000,000 points.
It's a lot more than 1,000,000, by the way.
Well, I'm awarding 1,000,000 points. I don't care what Twitch chat says.
100 million they're awarding. That's a lot of points for Vayne spotting.
One of us here is a math major, all right? I'm not responsible for reading. It's too much work. I do like that Tempo building a bit more damage here, because with the 3 tanks, you're gonna need to amplify the damage he can provide. We saw that without Synth, they really don't have a team fight. Tempo can land the great ult, but someone's got to finish them off. Yeah, that's some good damage. But yeah, I mean Nautilus, especially like Party Duck. You can only have so much upfront burst before you need to finish that Vladimir off, because he will heal up and come back to the fight full health if you can't finish him. So getting Synth from farm, getting Synth into the team fights is going to be important. They have 5,000 gold lead, but once again, this is a situation where they do need to do something with it.
It almost feels like this has been an extended 4v4, doesn't it? Like, yeah. I don't think Synth and Hammond Nation have been with their teams in so long. Because we've seen, that's probably what happened in topside. When you fight without 80 carries and you have, 4 tanks at that point fighting, no one's going to die.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Hammond Nation and Synth off to the side lane split pushing, absolutely in favor of Team Red Apple. Just getting Hammond Nation free farm, and you can win the duel if Synth gets too far away from the tower. And then, yeah, I think they win the team fights 4v4 if they take Synth out of the equation, just because of the way the team comps are built.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing the tanks out of the side from JAIDA. I'm just looking at the items they have right now. Surprisingly enough, Toxic Fjord, besides jungle item and boots, doesn't have a completed item just yet. Going for a lot of components, and very, very tanky out from Elevator Dunk. Getting the 2, you need 2 items as a Maokai. You need Sunfire Cape, and you need Spirit Visage. Once you get those 2, then you win, I guess. What else do you need to get? But we do see Zarkra jumping forward on to Synth, and is actually able to turn him down to about half health, but is forced to flash immediately afterwards. So, I don't know, half damage on an 80 carry who has
traded his flash for Tompkins Devour.
Yeah, I don't think that's worth it. Not at all.
Probably not.
Now, again,
saw an opportunity. He went for the attempt, buy some time, perhaps. But yeah, obviously not working out. And right now, JAIDA needs to do something here.
Yeah, you're right. They need to.
They have such a great siege. There is very limited safe wave clear on Team Red Apple. And they have a Mountain Drake to kill towers.
Yeah, exactly.
To kill some towers.
They need to do something. They have a 5k gold lead, and they've been sitting on it yet again. And this might be the nerves coming out from JAIDA, where they didn't expect themselves to have to fight for their lives in the quarterfinals at this point. But Party Duck, not going to get cut out just yet.
Kemp, Zach, Bush Camp is only so scary.
Oh yeah, it's where's your damage?
Surprise, we're both here, but we can't hurt you.
but you can't hurt us. It's like, it's one of the things where it's like,
well, if
you just
there,
wave a bit
can
and
hurt
then
them.
walk away. Like, what else can you do there?
I mean, Hamination here has Blade of the Rune King and PD. That's a pretty significant power spike for Vayne,
Yeah.
and particularly for tank killing. Lots of % health damage per auto attack. And gets a lot of auto attacks off. That's all she really needs. So you need to be smart, and you need to take a tower here. This one's really low. They're setting up the siege.
Yeah, they also have the split pushing in the bot side as well, so they're almost guaranteeing themselves a tower, either top or bot, and even mid is pushing pretty far in their favor at this point. And we see TRA backing off, that is going to be the tower going in favor of JAIDA here. So again, they're finally able to get something out of this. I'm kind of a little disappointed of how safe they're playing it.
Yeah.
I feel like they could go for a little bit more aggressive sieges.
But you know, they got the tower. They have 5-2 towers right now, so they're getting the gold where it's easy, and playing it safe is not terrible.
Mhm.
But they need to keep extending this. Right now, the issue is now that the easy gold is mostly gone. You know, they have the one tower in the bot lane, but that's risky to go for because it's pretty healthy, and that leaves Baron up. So that really means that, you know, from now on they need to start looking towards Baron. They have a good team fight comp if they can get the right situation here. So yeah, it's going to be them looking to Baron, I think, for now. Getting the vision, and then either forcing it or forcing a fight.
Yeah, Zarkra's Kha'Zix is a little different than last time. Like, last game, we've seen him just go off on it. And this time, he really hasn't been able to find the opportunities. And this just kind of goes to champion select, though. You have 3 tanks, so now you only have 2 options that you could really go for. And if Tahm Kench is next to one of those options, then you can't go for them either. And Orianna is not really the best target, but as we say that Xavier,
in trouble.
Yeah, he's definitely in trouble as we see the Tahm Kench come in now. His main plan here, though, is to delay as long as possible, because if you see on the map, there's a couple people going for Baron right now, and that is a Vayne who's going to be able to take it down very quickly, and we do see a teleport coming in, though. And so with that Baron attempt, what I do like about it is it did save their top laner's life. So we do see that the Nautilus was able to get out there, but Tampo doing so much damage to Zarkra there. He's just going to get blown up as Toxic Fiora is jumping in the backside. This is going to be so much in favor for TRA if Synth could stay alive, as Hamination's getting jumped on by Elevator. Duncan actually nice using the blast come, but the Elimination is able to survive. Tempo is so low at this point, and Hamination finally drops. Toxic Fiora is unstoppable, and this is so much in favor of JAIDA. They get it, almost the ace, but it's completely clean. They don't lose anybody. It's a 4-for-0, and that means Baron.
Yeah, some teams in that situation may try to commit just enough people to finish off the Nautilus, but Xavier would take so long to kill. They recognized they needed to run, and when they got there, there was no escape route for Team Red Apple.
Let me see.
Party Duck was already half health, and yeah, that blast cone.
Completely clean.
Buying Elevator
They
Dunk
don't
the
lose
time he
anybody.
needed to stay alive,
And that
putting
means Baron.
Hamination closer to the middle of the fight, where Vayne doesn't really want to be.
Okay, I was late on it. Okay. I was trying to bring up the
That was
replay,
great.
but I was a little bit late. And one thing I didn't realize, too, is it actually apparently captures my voice. I didn't realize that. I thought it was only supposed to get, like, my mouse strokes and stuff like that. But no, it actually gets whatever I say as well. Didn't expect that, in all honesty, when I brought up the replay and I started talking. But that means another Cloud Drake will go over in favor of JAIDA. And yeah, 10,000 gold lead now for them. This is just looking so good for the red team. And this means we might be going to a game 3, which, in all honesty, is not too surprising. But it just means so much for this next game then coming up, is who's going to be able to get that early lead and who's going to be able to maintain it. But at this point, it's still not over. JAIDA still needs to crack the base. They still have one more tower to go for before it's nothing but inhibitor towers. And they have a pretty good minion wave here. And if they react fast enough, they actually might be able to take this down.
So limited wave clear. I think they can just almost get this on the first wave, especially if
Sifo gets
you chuck
blown
it
up,
something
yeah.
like that.
That is
And
going
it's
to be
gone.
it. Yeah, they take it, and then they're going to start to fight afterwards. Xavier is going to be the first target. Hamination's going to get jumped on, though, as Tempo is able to get him with a shockwave, and that's going to mean so much at this point. Now Xavier going to get eaten up, and he is going to try to run away, but no, Taeyoon picks up that kill. He gets it on the Tom Kench, and that means definitely an inhibitor for JAIDA, but will they stop? Can they get more kills, and can they go for the win? PartyDuck gets locked down as Tempo goes on a killing spree. That's Synth picking his 5th of the game, and that is going to be it. JAIDA, they stay alive and force a game 3 against Team Red Apple, and this means one game will mean that one of these teams will be eliminated, and Toxic Fiora almost suicide there, but he will be able to live. And now that I think about it, did he even use his passive that game?
That's a good question. I don't think he ever got down to his passive. You're right.
That's pretty massive in all
That's
honesty.
pretty good. Yeah, especially considering how the last game went for him. He definitely had a rough showing on the Vi, turning it around, being a pretty significant player in that game. And you're right, it was Zarkra, same champion, did not get the same effect. And I think a lot of that does go to Toxic Fiora because what was it? Zarkra was getting a lot of kills, basically off Toxic Fiora being dragged so far away from the rest of his team. And I think part of that was where the snowball came from for Zarkra. And then, once Kha'Zix gets, 5-0, he's going to keep going. But other than that, it was a very similar story. It was just much more well executed by JAIDA. They got the lead with the Caitlyn versus Vayne situation. There was slightly less wave clear on Team Red Apple's side, which opened up more tower pressure and allowed them to expand the lead a bit quicker. But yeah, they just played it much better than they did last time. It's really that simple.
Definitely what it comes down to. So this means now game 3 coming in, and this is going to mean so much. Thank you for answering for me because I was ready. So this is going to mean a lot. Winner of this game moves on. Will most likely be able to represent Penn State at the LAN, and loser is done for the season. And that means that there's going to be a couple months so they're going to be able to play again.
Yeah, I said in the chat by Jaws, it's Oriana's won 2 games in a row. I wonder if she even makes it through bans this time. You recognize that may be a priority this time, since will grab that for his team. Probably first pick with how it's gone so far.
I don't know what's going on with my OBS today, but the League client does not want to cooperate today. I'm going to give me 1 second to fix this. There we go.
Tom Kench gets a ban this time, so recognizing that was part of the struggle. That was actually another thing that really messed up Zarkra. Usually when you're Kha'Zix, you jump on someone, you can kill them, but if they disappear immediately, and there is the Oriana ban. I'm not too surprised to see that.
So Oriana will end undefeated. And
leaves Lulu.
Yeah, no really too surprise there. We saw Taeyoon in many games prior to this one. He's played an amazing Lulu, so going ahead for that. No surprise here, and this means that Jaw's prediction leaves it up in the air. Now we have no clue who's going to guarantee win this game. As far as I know, Caitlyn is 1 for 1.
That's the way it should be. Caitlyn is 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Both 80 carries, Caitlyn and Vayne, are 1 and 1. Those haven't changed. Nautilus is 1 and 1. Maokai is 100% win rate.
That's true. So is
Kha'Zix
Zach.
is 1 and 1. Zach has 100% win rate. Lulu has 100% loss rate, so that may be a mistake.
That might be game right there, actually. Unless
they've taken their time on this one.
There's a lot of thought going into this one.
Come out really quick. The last 2 champ selects. Not much waiting until the last second. That would be interesting.
Okay. They're going to go ahead and pick the Caitlyn away from Synth, forcing him onto another champion. And the Vladimir going to come out again for PartyDuck here. The pocket pick for him.
Off the table.
Yeah,
they may be happier about that because it didn't go great the last game, and I do think Oriana is a good matchup into Vladimir. So taking that off the table, I wonder what Tempo goes with, because Oriana's off the table. Victor is still available.
I think he just goes Victor at that point.
Ari is also available too. They banned Ari, I think, a couple times against him. Ari does reasonably well against Vladimir too, I want to say. Just the range on the Q makes it very difficult for Vladimir to make trades.
This leaves a lot open for Synth, though. There's not, like... He's played a lot of Varus, which isn't really played too much anymore, and he's also played a lot of Ziggs, which I don't feel like is going to really match up with the Lulu, so I don't know of what Synth's going to go for. Maybe an Ezreal. We've seen him play Ezreal games in the past.
Apparently. I would Twitch is someone who can work well with Lulu.
That is true.
The chat has said, Kog'Maw is just basically made viable by the existence of Lulu, which is also true. I'm gonna go with Ezreal. It's a decent laning combo, but it doesn't combo super well in the late game because, again, movement speed and attack speed from that W is not a huge boon to Ezreal, and the big spike of health is also not a big deal because usually he's the last one on his team to die because he's so safe.
Mm-hmm.
But Lulu's pretty flexible. She can combo with other champions. So if they pick something a bit more aggressive, perhaps in the... I was going to say top lane, but they also picked up Poppy, so that's probably not going to be it.
Yeah, I was to say, like, he matches really well with, like, a Jace or something like that. But just, still, in general, Lulu's still really strong. You don't need to be very attack speed oriented to get
Ezreal Lulu is a good lane and should deal with Caitlyn reasonably well. Depending on the support pick here. Looks like we're going to have Nautilus again for Xavier. He knows what he likes.
He
plays
doing well
it well.
With it.
Does he forget his keystone this time again? Because 100% win rate with no keystone.
Interesting enough, we see a Morgana out, and
Morgana.
That's
okay.
A champion who I haven't seen in the bot lane in the longest time. At least there's no way that any
almost
of the four
certainly
here...
support could be
I was thinking
lane.
Maybe I was thinking that.
Oh no, sorry, the top lane's picked.
Yeah,
could be a jungle. Morgana jungle is a thing. I don't know if I would pull it out in this situation.
No, I would definitely not pull it out in any situation that has this on the line.
Yeah, I would expect its support. It's still pretty straightforward. She has two super strong things which haven't gone away.
Mm-hmm.
Super long, ranged.
I'll say her ultimate's still pretty strong as well.
True.
And her black shield is incredibly
black shield
strong.
And the long range route, which seems to last 24 hours.
I don't know if this is a Taeyun hover or if this is actually going to tempo. I still don't know if Taeyun is just trolling us or not.
I can't say Zed would be my top pick for dealing with a Vladimir. But I also can't say who would be my top pick. And it's going to be Zed.
Apparently, Tempo thinks it might be Zed. And one thing to think about is a Vladimir loves going Spirit Visage, and that's going to do nothing really against the team comp of JAIDA. So that magic resist is going to be a huge wasted stat for the majority of the game, because what magic resist he's going to, Lulu and Zac? That's not really going to be able to do too much. So I really do like the pick up here from Tempo, because this kind of forces Sifo to build into Azonias instead, and that means that it's going to delay that.
So hard for Vlad.
Wait, what?
Zonias is not a tough sell for a Vladimir.
It isn't, but that's going to delay his sustain from going for Spirit Visage.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's 20% boost from that, so obviously it's significant. But I don't know. Well, we'll see. But I think this is a fine matchup for Party Duck. Honestly, I think this is a comfortable lane for Vladimir. You don't really have kill pressure on him unless he misuses his pool. Like, you pool when he ults. It's that simple. So, yeah. Now, with Lulu, it is a nice combo, as you said. He can make use of the movement speed and to some degree the attack speed as well. He can jump into the fight, get ulted up.
I did, yeah.
You didn't say that?
No, I didn't. I completely forgot about the whole Zed Lulu combo there. I think I said Jace. I think I said Jace or other AD mid laner. So I guess if you want to consider that, but I said that. And that's a good point. There has been a bug surfacing on Reddit that people have been saying that there has been a bug with the polymorph where apparently
it can go through Morgana.
It goes through Morgana's black shield, and apparently it doesn't work. Like Merc Treads doesn't reduce the duration. Is the word I was trying to think of.
I thought that one's existed for a while. The going straight through a black shield would be an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it happens this time around. We'll completely point it out if we see it. But we're going to have about 2.5 minutes into this game. We're going to take another quick break so we could rest our voices, get some water again, and get ready for this final game. In the meantime, enjoy some music. We'll be back in about 3 minutes for this game. It's going to be a big one. Winner of this moves on. Loser has to play either next year, or if they're seniors, this ends their Penn State career. Who knows what's going to happen, but we'll be back in a bit. Alright guys, we are back for this final game between JAIDA and TRA. I'm going to keep Silver Scrapes on for a little bit longer as it times out. Don't want to cut it too short, so that's actually ending right now. But this is going to be a really important game. Winner of this moves on to the semifinal and the Penn State LCS, or the Penn State LAN, at the end of the season. My name is Rudy. I'm joined here by Doug, and this is going to be an intense game as we might have a level 1 skirmish, as these teams are closer than I think they have ever been before.
Yeah, we're going to have a different bot lane matchup this time, as there is no Vayne in this game, which changes the dynamic a bit. Previously, it's been can JAIDA win before Vayne scales up, but Hamination's going to be the one playing Caitlyn this time, and Elevator Dunk is going to face check 2 people.
Man, actually, yeah, Elevator Dunk here, not in a good spot. Is probably going to have to be forced to flash over this wall. Yeah, he is. That's going to be a flash down. It's not going to waste anything from Team Red Apple, so not a good start for JAIDA here, as now Elevator Dunk going to be without a summoner spell in the top lane, and that's going to be hugely in favor for Xavier.
He will get to go back, and you can see Zarkra has to start his jungle a little bit hurt. Hecarim doesn't do too badly in the jungle, but this could be a little bit of extra risk that he doesn't need. In the meantime, Elevator Dunk gets to go back, heal up. He does force Xavier to start Q. Well, I mean, not force, but that is what happened, which will give him potentially a little bit of pressure in the lane for level 1. But yeah, if that flashless lane can be visited here quickly, it'll be a huge boon to get Xavier an early lead this time. Last time we saw this matchup, it was hugely in favor of Xavier too, so anything to get him going, I'm sure he'll be able to utilize.
Big start for Hecarim too, starting out with Raptor buffs to give him a huge advantage. That's a pretty important strat there, as Taeyun does eat that binding. And like we said earlier, we're going to have to watch in the spot side to see if any polymorph through black shields happen. Very, very weird. I want to say that's a bug because it definitely shouldn't happen. As we do see Hamanation taking a lot of damage here. And yeah, sadly, Taeyun not getting polymorph just yet, so he won't be able to attempt the whole going through the black shield thing just yet.
Morg isn't a great matchup into Lulu for that 2v2 situation, so they're probably going to lose early trades here. We did have to see Zarkra back right after 2 camps, so he's going to get the Hunter's Potion, so now he's not going to be too worried about sustain.
Oh yeah, he should be fine.
He'll be able to keep clearing forever. And I do wonder if we see just the hard farm Hecarim here. Looking
I don't know. Flashless Poppy, I
more.
think you'd want to try to gank topside at least at some point.
He is in the bot side jungle now, though. I mean, obviously he has to farm up a bit more before he can get to that point. Taeyun, ooh.
Yes, Taeyun just take quite a bit of damage here. Yo, Solo forcing the heal already. Can the flash forward? That's going to be Hamanation picking up the kill as Taeyun just takes way too much damage. And that's the big thing about Morgana is the lockdown potential if she lands those bindings.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Morgana has 2 spells. I mean, I know she has an ult, but man, that route can just change lanes like that. It's synth. Taeyeon doing really well. I don't like Taeyeon not flashing preemptively, though. When he got that low, he has to expect Hamanation to flash to get that kill.
Yeah.
And you just have to burn the flash to get out. You know, you can't risk it. Giving first blood to a Caitlyn. So tough, man.
Yeah, look at the damage coming in. Not only the combo, but just this further sustain. And that's one thing I like about Caitlyn and Morgana, or anybody with CC, is that Caitlyn really just prolongs the CC. And will it land? He will get that tempo with the all-in the mid lane. Is going to be able to pick up the kill. I thought for sure that was going to be Party not getting out of that, but tempo with the perfect Q and with the Ignite already ticking is going to be able to pick up that one. And that's going to even it up now. Roughly 300 gold in the favor of TRA at this point, but it's at this point anyone's game still.
I mean, that's the thing about Vladimir. When he uses that pool, you know you have a great opportunity to go in. Party Duck used the pool to, I guess, dodge a little bit of damage, which is just not a great idea. You really need to hold on to that pool as long as possible. And Synth can be in a bit of trouble here.
This might be bad, but no, we do see Toxic Fiora is going to be here. Can they get the damage down? The flash forward. No red buff for the slow as Synth has to stay back safely. But the double Glitter Lance on both of them is going to chunk them down so low. Can they get the damage? It doesn't look like it, but they're further back. Taeyun a little too far forward, though. Hamination's going to pick up that kill. Just weird miscommunication there as Taeyun goes a little too far forward.
Yeah, I think Taeyun thought he would kill Sifu before Hamanation finished him off. Toxic Fury is going to revisit here, potentially, but this is so risky. Synth is so low on health. That was really the what killed the last gank. Synth could not safely follow up. He had to stay so far back before the gank even started. That most of the damage was just not there.
Yeah, and just it was really weird because you saw the 80 carry and Zach both push back, and at that point you think, oh, it's over. But just Taeyun kept going. He thought he could pick up that kill, and again, surviving with Flash is at this point not a good thing.
Yeah, that time, I mean, he was fighting to the death because he thought he could get Sifu, but Yeah, I mean, going that hard in that situation, it's strange, needless to say. And once again, tempo in the early game is really what's working for JAIDA right now. 15 CS, a little bit more, up on Party Duck, got the kill himself, and this is a champion that can spread the love to other lanes. You know, love the assassins who can roam when they can get a lead by themselves. Because Vladimir's a pretty low pressure mid laner, especially when he falls behind. So this will free up tempo to make some moves across the map or just keep beating up Party Duck.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind here in the bot side is that the fact that Caitlyn's getting 2 kills over an Ezreal is just very tough for the Ezreal to come back from now, is because forcing to go tier means that you're not really going to be able to do anything too much, as now we see Zarka coming in here. Can he get the lockdown on a Taeyun? He doesn't get the fear, though, so that means that the Lulu's going to be able to get away, and that's Ghost and Ultimate blown from Zarkra. As Elevator Dunk's now down here, can they go in on this? Great knock upon the 2 people. Hamination's going extremely low, but Synth gets cut out. Great binding coming out from Sifo, but Elevator Dunk trying to get something out, but he's taking turret damage, and Hamination gets his 3rd kill again. We see JAIDA just go a little too far, and they're going to it's going to cost them.
What is this game right now? Honestly, a pretty poor gank there by Zarkra, just forcing the Hecarim gank too hard, but then, yeah, Elevator Dunk wants to dive the tower when, once again, Ezreal can only do so much damage when there's a pile of minions in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And Taeyun's 2 levels behind Sifu right now. He's not putting out much damage either. This game is just crazy.
Yeah, and it's just a big advantage now in favor of TRA at this point. And yeah, we see a potential red buff steal. It's actually the ultimate's going to go on to Zarka. So much damage. That's going to be an easy kill. The smite to try to survive is not going to be enough. Tempo here. We've seen him almost able to carry game 1, but this time he's on Zed. Is he going to be able to do it on this AD mid laner? After seeing that, it's a full possibility at this point.
Yeah, Hecarim with no ultimate is going to be a sitting duck in the jungle.
Oh my god.
That was pretty...
So much damage. And that's through 2 cloth armors too. The damage from tempo on, or the damage onto tempo, or tempo onto Party Duck there, just for a nice combo.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and
sorry.
he still has 2 cloth armors at this point. Building for that arm guard right away is not really helping him at this point.
No, not yet. I mean, he's 20 CS behind, and when you're itemizing defense and you're this far behind, you know, you're really just surviving what you can. You're not going to win this lane at this point. And yeah, he needs to get some dodging in. It doesn't matter how much defense you build if you just stand in what that throws out at you. But once again, yeah, it's Tempo. It's Tempo who's the only one ahead right now, and Taeyun could be dead again.
He takes so much damage, but Synth is the one who takes the bind, not able to protect his support as he's just barely able to survive there. That could have been massive. Synth actually uses his E4 there, surprisingly. As
Toxic
we
Fury
do see,
here.
Yeah, but is it going to be enough as Toxic Fury tries to land on something? Nice flash away by Hamination as Toxic Fury came in off screen. Can he get the lockdown on his Sifo? Not in time, and that's actually going to be the kill, though. So this actually could be a good 2 kills going in favor of JAIDA as the shutdown gold goes all to Synth. That's going to really help them come back in this game, and it's actually going to give them roughly a 1,000 gold lead.
Definitely a mistake by Hamination to re-enter that fight after he had flashed out initially. Sifu was just dead. I mean, that's the truth. Flash the support against a Zac. I'm curious if Zarkra actually goes for this. This is a bunch of low health bars between Toxic Fiora and Taeyun. This dragon could be fairly risky, but of course, Toxic Fiora is Zac. So you gotta kill him twice.
And this means that an early dragon is going to go in favor of JAIDA. It is a Cloud Drake, so it will help them with their rotations. But look at the damage on this mid lane tower already, way below half health. And that just shows how far ahead Tempo is of Party Duck. Yeah,
I think this is the biggest lead he's had at this point, this series. And he's been leading every lane so far. So this is working really well for him. And again, it's a champion who can really put that money to work. Oh, there we go. He has to just leave now, pooling in that situation, and not getting the ult first. He's not safe under tower.
Oh, no, not at all. He's going to have to get out of
well,
here.
unless Tempo takes 2 tower hits because
he's fine now. Yeah,
preempts the wave.
As Synth takes another bindings. I can't tell if Sifo is just is just a god at landing bindings, or if JAIDA is not even attempting to dodge them anymore.
When you're Ezreal, you should be able to dodge the bindings no matter what. You have a little button that makes you move from one place to another. Yeah.
This is
it takes some skill to land. Morg's not the super easiest skill shot to land, but I mean, Synth can't be eating all of them. Like that.
Yeah, he shouldn't be taking that, and that's so much damage going on to him.
Shift.
He might actually drop here, and he's going to barely be able to get out alive, but Taeyun has to take that ace in the hole for him. And yeah, he's just barely able to survive at that point. And yeah, just not looking good for Synth and Taeyun in this bot side. They're getting caught one time after another. And Taeyun just going to drop here as Hamination goes forward to pick up that kill. You can't get caught with those bindings when you're that low. But here comes Elevator Dunk trying to go on a Hamination. So much damage with the exhaust going to be used. He can't finalize the kill, but here comes Toxic Fiora to try to help out. Hamination takes a turret shot though, so that means he's going to drop. And we do see Tempo now here on the bot side. A little bit of an overextension here by TRA as they try to get something. Everybody on the side of JAIDA is so low. But here comes Tempo with the ultimate. The death mark isn't going to be enough. It will be as he picks up 1 kill and gets out alive. Party Duck is just going to be able to barely pick up the kill with his ultimate, and now we finally see the passive coming out from the Zac, but there comes Elevator Dunk trying to get a trade kill, can't protect his jungler as he's dropping. Now Party Duck is going to eventually kill Elevator Dunk, but no, here comes Synth! Here comes the Ezreal after backing when the beginning of that fight started, and that's just going to be all in all, I think a 2-for-1? Maybe like a 3-for-2? I don't know.
3 for 2. Taeon, Tempo, and Toxic Fiora all went down. And then Hamination and Zarkra. So yeah, 3 for 2 in favor of Team Red Apple there. As once again, it starts with a bind landing. And Synth was out of that fight to start with. He had to go back to base. But when you take a bind in this lane, it's not just a bind. It's going to be a trap that follows up that bind immediately. Come out with Caitlyn and just sitting there auto-attack you. And that's why you have to shift it. You can't let that hit you. It's just... When you're playing Ezreal, that's just bad. And it puts himself in a really good tempo, roam down. He got himself a couple more kills, I think.
Two or one?
Two? I think he was at 2-0, and he got 2 more kills, but then he gave the shutdown. Which means this game is just 1,000 apart. And when Tempo is able to roam down so much farther ahead of Party Duck, and he is so much stronger, it needs to be a bigger win than it was. I mean, well, it was a loss, actually, 3 for 2. But they need to come out on top in that situation. It was just Synth not being in that fight at all, and Taeon dying really before it all started as well.
Yeah, Taeyoon is having a little bit of a different game than last time that we saw on the Tom Kent. She was really protecting Synth extremely well and getting kills as well, but at this point, just Sifo and Hamination are really carrying this bot side, doing extremely good. We see Synth keeping up in farm, but that's really it. The kills on the side of Hamination is massive, and the only thing to offset that, though, is this mid lane, as a tower is going to go down. Hamination trying to do what he can against Synth at this point, but they're trying to push down this tower, and it's going to take him a little bit of time still, as Tempo was just really able to destroy that mid lane and get a very early tower. That was almost roughly a solo tower. Taeyun takes another binding here and going to get chunked down.
Yeah. Yep, good job getting that first tower. It was, yeah, as you said, mostly Tempo, but Toxic Fiora recognized that it was low enough that he could just walk into lane, force them back, and get that gold. Probably, half of it obviously went on to Tempo, which is who you need to have gold right now. Because you're right, Hamination's doing his job, but Sifu is carrying this lane so far. He's not missing many bindings. And that's really changing the face of this game, because this should be a lane that just Caitlyn doesn't get many kills, because Lulu Ezreal is supposed to be so safe that they just at least don't die, even if they lose the lane a little bit. But having 4 kills at this point in the game, it's not supposed to happen, man.
Yeah, this really just might come to who's going to be able, like, if Tempo is able to kill Hamination instantly and then get back and join his team for the fight, I think it's over. It's oh, Synth just gets landed by another body, but here comes Tempo. Can he jump on a Hamination? There goes the death sentence, the death mark as he gets shut down very low, but he's not able to get the kill, but the Ignite is going to. Tempo picks up another one there, as now Sifu has to run away. Synth doing a lot of work on this Ezreal now, but just not able to close in the distance as we see Party Duck and now Zarkra up here. Taeyun is going to drop eventually. There it is. But will we have another engage here by Toxic Fiora? He doesn't land it, but Tempo just blows up Sifu at that point. 6-1-0 now on this Zed.
Yeah, Sifu definitely overstaying there, not realizing that he's a free kill for a 5-1 Zed. Interesting that Elevator Dunk did not choose to participate. I guess his teleport was not yet off cooldown, so close to even trade. Just 1 kill, I think, going in favor of JAIDA there. Who's going to win this fight?
No one, because we're going to go down to the bot side instead as Zarkra takes so much damage. And oh, we're back here. Round 2 between these two juggernauts, but no, we're going to go back down here again. And oh my god.
We're back.
Round 3. Who's going to win? They're not even going to go after each other.
They're not even fighting anymore.
It's now just farm similar Summoner's Rift at this point. And as Party Duck might get jumped out of Toxic Fiora, but Hamination now is here, full health. Did he step on a trap? No, Team Fiora, or I thought Toxic Fiora there stepped on a trap, and that could have been his death if that was the case. But this is going to end the siege as everybody's really going to come down here to the bot side. But that probably means at this point that this bot lane tower is going to drop. But that does mean that Elevator Dunk's going to continually push down up this mid lane.
Yeah, he'll have to do a lot of work to get that second tower, but deny him a couple minions here. It looks like everyone's just going to back off now. Stop in the back from Toxic Fiora.
Yeah, that's...
Who has actually died now. We have seen him die on Zac.
We have. We've also seen his passive, that both of those happened.
Yes. Well, one has to happen for the other. Well, I guess not technically. If you dive the Nexus, or the Fountain, sorry, you won't spawn your passive, and you'll just die.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Why?
pretty sure. I don't know, it's the same thing.
Their Nexus. Their Nexus. I thought you meant your own Nexus. But
no.
Sifo going to get jumped on by Tempo, who just shut down as Hamination comes down here. Sifo does have to worry about he is extremely low, but the ultimate not going to land as he already had Zhonya's picked up. And now Taeyun is going to be the next one on the table. Hamination taking so much damage, though. Both players are low from both teams. Hamination, though, can he find the kill? The Wild Growth is going to be used, but no one's able to find a kill just yet as Toxic Fiora steps on a trap and is going to stop his engage at that point. Everybody extremely low, but no one dying.
Well, Tempo died. Right off the start.
We'll forget about that.
Jumped right into a Morgana bind, and as I said, those things last so long.
I just realized.
Dive this.
This Morgana has Zhonya's and no Sightstone.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's just going to be 2 kills easily, but trade kill does happen. We do see that Taeyun is going to drop, but
yeah, Taeyun sacrifices himself.
No Sightstone. That is something else.
Yeah. No boots either this far into the game. Having no boots and no Sightstone. Synth could just easily be dead here. I don't think
we'll see. No, he has a flash. He's fine. No, never mind. He's dead.
No,
as Zarkra goes under tower to pick up that kill.
Now, is Zarkra dead?
Yes. Well, we'll find out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to die. Yes. He has nothing to get out. Tempo doesn't even need the death card to pick up the kill. An Elevator Dunk. Just bye. Okay.
He really wanted Vlad far away, which I think is okay with Party Duck. He's like, that's also where I wanted to go. They are going to start a dragon here. This will be their second Cloud Drake of the game.
And good news, we do see Morgana picking up Sightstone now.
And boots.
And boots.
He's all set.
Wow.
Yeah, the hard Zonya's rush.
That's
wow.
A little aggravating, but it's one of those things like, you were so far ahead. Is it a bad thing? I still want to say yes, you should have got Sightstone, help your team out, get vision down.
Especially when you're against a 7 and 2 Zed. Or
okay, yeah, 100%. I don't know why you run
the extra
Zonia's.
Vision helps your team stay ahead. You know, most of the gold is still on Hamination, and that's where it should be. And you just keep him alive.
Speaking of tempo and alive, Sifo might not be alive for much longer, but he's going to force the exhaust away and the flash as well. So now both summoner spells out from Sifo. Still has the Zhonya's though. So if that engage happens again, he can bait it.
I don't know if it's off cooldown yet. It's probably still on cooldown. It's tough.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
You can't tell in this client. But
the client
it has a fairly long
every
cooldown,
week.
and he used it in the last engagement.
So who knows?
Yeah, who even knows? I don't think there's any way we can actually check item cooldowns.
Why did Xavier take 2 turret shots there?
There's a lot of questions that still need to be answered.
They have questions. Will anybody die?
Oh,
Nice
cool
wild growth combo there. Sifo will be able to live for a little bit longer, but he's practically going to drop right after, well, right now, as Synth is able to pick up that kill. Now the top lane tower will drop. Actually, no, Tempo is up here. Can they have enough damage to pick up some kills here as Zarka is going to go forward? Elevator Dunk extremely tanky at this stage of the game. Tempo trying to find a good spot to get in, but is just not able to. And now with that ultimate, great using the death mark to dodge it. He is still going to die, but he at least was able to take someone with him. And this means that bot lane is still going to push. 1,500 gold lead going in favor of JAIDA at this point, and they're going to continue the siege and a little bit of a base race at this point. I don't think a Vlad and a Nautilus can outpush these guys on the bot side, though.
No, absolutely not, especially when one of them is Ezreal, can give his whole team attack speed, and they're going to win that. But they're going to back off, and they may just trade it in the end. Ultimately, I think Tempo jumping into that fight was ill-advised, giving them a decent shutdown there. Should have just left Elevator Dunk to die.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but giving up that kill meant that they could continue on and get that tower, and ultimately just an even trade. Or actually, no, it's in favor of Team Red Apple because they got 2 turrets there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the bottom turret was already dead.
Oh, was it?
Nonetheless, I maybe not. Maybe I thought the bottom outer turret was already dead. I could be wrong.
I actually don't know.
Me neither. Does
But,
Sifu have Zanya's?
No, definitely not. And he's going to drop with... There. He's going to drop. Taeyun is going to be able to pick it up. I thought Tempo was going to pick up that one, but locked down by a binding or an ultimate, whichever one it was. Doesn't really matter. The Soul Shackles kept him in place, so Taeyun is going to be able to get his first of the game. And now JAIDA above 2,000 gold roughly, 4 kills in their favor. This is a very messy game.
Yeah, it's... You're right. This is a pretty sloppy one as far as things go. When the 80 carry for one team is 6 and 5 at this point in the game, like that many kills and that many deaths at the same time, that usually indicates some shenanigans are happening. And this bot lane's been so active. Jungler showing up all the time. Just straight 2v2. There was a lot of stuff happening, and then plenty of outside interaction. As Party Duck could be in trouble.
He's going to get jumped on, but he still has his Ghost as well as his pool that he's going to save onto for now. Try to hold on to it as long as possible. Still actually has it, never used it, as Toxic Fiora now is without his team going very far forward. And we see a little bit of a skirmish on the bot side between the 2 top laners, but not really too much going to go after that. Actually, we did see that Tempo was down there, and he did use his ultimate.
Tempo was down, and Xavier flashed out, so... I didn't actually catch the ultimate by Tempo, so that decent trade. Can he kill Sifu now?
Probably, as he jumps right in onto him. So much damage going in, that's going to be a miss, a binding, but because of the blast coming, he's going to be able to get out alive, but actually we do see Party Duck being jumped on instead. Zarkra is going to come forward, trying to pick up something, but here comes Tempo. Flashes forward onto the pool, though, so not really going to be able to do any damage, but Party Duck's so low. This might be in favor, though, of TRA, as everybody's extremely low. Tempo gets locked down, but he picks up the kill on a Party Duck somehow, so this is going to be just a 1-for-1 so far, as JAIDA wants to continue this fight, as they're going to try to kill Xavier, who's extremely tanky, but now extremely low. As Hemination very far forward, picks up a kill onto the both bot laners, gets a double kill there. Great use of that Hurricane, and now this is going to continue the fight. Elevator Dunk now under tower, but he's a very tanky Poppy, and all in all, 3 for 2 in favor of TRA.
Yeah, going for that tower dive there on a Vladimir. I mean, that's tricky. I'm pretty sure he ulted right into... Oh, no, he didn't ult. He just ran at him, but shadowed on top, under a tower. Vladimir just pulled out. Party Duck, he's seen too much of his own deaths before. Playing it very safe this time. Zanya's and the pool means he has plenty of invulnerability frames to deal with Tempo. Which means he's running out of targets.
That is
more Kazanya's. Vladimir is just Vladimir. He's done pretty well killing Zarkra, though. However, the Dead Man's Plate is also completed, which means he has to do a lot more damage. Going for Sifu again.
Yeah, he's going on to Sifu, but he at least is able to dodge the binding, but actually going to go right back onto Sifu. This might be ill-advised because he still has Zonias, and this is not looking good for Tempo. Great wild growth to keep him alive, though, as Taeyun is going to take the harassment instead, and no one's going to die just yet. Blue turret does go down, though, so JAIDA did give over a little bit of gold as Xavier is going to complete this teleport as JAIDA still wants this fight. Zarkra trying to find an assassination target. He finds it onto Taeyun, but that's a jungler for a support. Not really worth it for TRA, but they're going to continue this as Xavier barely has taken any damage. Now is down to half health as Party Duck gets killed by Synth. They're great Essence Flux forward, but Hamination's going to flash forward, try to go for the kill, but that's going to be a triple kill for Synth before he goes down. 3 for 2 in favor now of JAIDA, and they're going to be able to go for an Ocean Drake.
A couple of very questionable decisions there, as you're right. Zarkra tried to dive through the team to finish off Taeyun, who had already used Wild Growth, already dropped Exhaust. Not a lot more he was going to contribute to that fight. And then Hamination flashing in to kill at quarter health Ezreal when he had full health. That's just not a good trade. He needs to just keep kiting to the best of his ability and put out that consistent damage. Trying to be the assassin is just not going to work.
It really
you're trading a full health bar for 25% of synths. That's not a good trade.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that kind of sucks. It's like, oh, we got our ADC fed very early. This is gonna be great as we just transition to mid game. But then it's like, oh, who's the worst person to feed when our AD carry is fed? Probably a Zed, in all honesty. There's probably maybe like Rengar, Kha'Zix as well. Any sort of assassin, they are now fed. So as long as Tempo is able to find these targets, though,
didn't participate in a huge way in that fight. Really, Synth did do a lot of work there before he was assassinated. We can, he's hit that power spike with the Muramana and the Trinity Force, working towards the Blade of the Rune King, which will add even more damage to his Mystic shots.
Yeah, and picking up that Executioner's Calling is going to help out as well. That healing reduction onto even like the Morgana a little bit, but mostly Party Duck.
Yeah.
As well as Hamination once he does and picks up some sort of lifesteal.
Hecarim gets so tanky with the amount of damage he can put out.
So TRA, TRA, the entire team. Let's just go with
most of them. Yeah, it is useful.
Oh, that's the Warmogs is an item I haven't seen in the longest time.
That's true. It's so common on ARAMs.
Oh, it's extremely common in ARAM, 100%. Yeah.
Very few people buy it on Summoner's Rift. It's interesting. It is. There haven't been many fights where Xavier's walked away from it. So, that's usually where you have a fight, you disengage, and you can heal back up before you re-engage. That's where Warmogs shine. But that's not the type of fights that we've been having. And
no,
in terms of pure effective health, it's not great in that regard. And it's weird, too, because he could just keep prioritizing armor here against this comp. There's not a lot of magic damage. He could just go for a Randuin's instead of that
Elevator Dung, I don't know if you want this. You're all alone at this point. But here's the rest of your team fighting Xavier. So both top laners really just on their own mission at this point. Trying to delay as long enough so they can get this tower. And Sivo gets caught out there and is forced to run away. Now Zarkra going to get thrown out as Hamination is going to be jumped on, but Party Duck is able to get the kill on a tempo there. So a trade kills. That's Hamination though out of this fight. So this might be very, very good for JAIDA if they can find the right targets. And Synth is able to live long enough. Can he get the kills? Can he get out? It looks like he can survive just barely as Synth gets the kill on a Zarkra and gets out with his life. His Elevator Dunk is going to be able to get the kill on a Party Duck as well. And now Xavier, the last one alive, is not able to find the Ezreal. As Synth is coming back, is the ultimate available? No, it isn't. So this is not looking good for Xavier at all. Will they get the kill over to Synth? No, that's going to be Toxic Fiora picking it up. 5-1-12 on this Zac, and this is going to mean Baron now for JAIDA.
Yeah, this is where we see Synth starting to take over here. It's, in straight team fights, Zed can only do so much, and in this case, it was just trading straight 1-for-1 with Hamination. That's about as good as you can expect at this point. And then, just Toxic Fiora and Elevator Dunk can absorb so much damage, and Synth just escaped with so little health. The Lulu coming out huge for him here. Taeyeon keeping him alive. And now they're in a really good spot. They got Baron, 5,000 gold lead. And right now we're talking about, moving on to the next round here, because winner moves on, loser goes home.
Interesting. 3 dead man's plates for TRA.
Oh wow!
One of them, okay, yeah, I would say one of them very interesting.
Sifu's itemization has been very interesting in this game in general.
Champs?
Pardon?
I was wondering if it even works for. Yeah, okay. Half of that he doesn't even get. He's. Why did he go dead man's plate for the movement speed?
I mean, he can amplify his ability to find picks. I guess it's reliable movement speed to position himself to land a binding or to run in with the ultimate. And I mean, it's pretty good in terms of effective health against armor, because there is a lot of physical damage.
Get your entire team to have movement speed then instead. Like, I do not agree with that dead man's plate, because stats wise, it's not the greatest of
Randuin's
the defensive items. Yeah, Randuin's is way better, and you're really half those passes is just completely worthless because you're ranged.
Yeah, it's very interesting choice.
All right, so we're seeing a siege coming out from JAIDA right now, and they're actually able to do this fairly safely as Hammer Nation's down to half health. Able to heal quite a bit, though, through those auto attacks, as this is going to be the fight that they might win, as Paradox is going to land his ultimate on around 3 or 4 people, but a great ultimate coming out from Elevator Dunk, getting 3 people out of the fight, but a great job at delaying this fight from the rest of the members of TRA. So that just means no one's going to drop just yet, and the siege at this point will continue. The minions in the bot lane, though, are pushing quite fast, and it's forcing Party Duck to go and answer them, and we see Tempo actually make his way there. And we'll have to see if he's actually... No, he's just going to come back. Never mind. And as I say that, he went back bot lane.
Tempo's not really able to make up his mind here about where he wants to go.
So it'll be a 4v4 fight because of it. Yeah, it's going to be a 4v4 instead of a 5v4, as we see both of the mid laners for both sides are coming up. But this is going to be a very tough fight. I'm trying to see where Tempo's at. He's like really far back now at this point. So great defense coming out from TRA.
As Tempo went back to base, yeah, they're going to be able to save it here. I think a lot of this is how much work Synth has to do to kill anyone at this point. It will be easier now. He's finished the Mortal Reminder. But of course, again, the magic damage here is, just a sparring amount, a little bit in each kit has magic damage. They're physical focused here between Ezreal and Zed, which, as you can see by the armor stacking, was recognized pretty early by TRA, and it's going to be tougher and tougher for Synth to actually kill anyone, especially when playing Ezreal.
Yeah, but this is going to now be another dragon in favor of JAIDA. They're now going to go ahead and pick up this Mountain Drake, which is going to help with their siege. So now we know there will be no Infernal Drakes in this game. I don't know what, that would have really benefited teams with how many fights
huge
were
for
in
tempo.
This. Just roll anybody.
Raw attack damage for a Zed would be absurd. But yeah, they actually used up their whole Baron, and I don't think got anything from it.
And
they got the gold from killing Baron itself, but they just got a bit of damage onto the top tower and didn't kill any of the towers. I think all the ones outside of the base were already dead. I could be wrong again. Oh, Synth.
Yeah, he gets caught out there, and that's a lot of damage going on to Synth. Can they actually kill him? They will be able to. Zarkra able to pick that one up, so this is a 5v4 without the AD carry now for JAIDA. I don't know if they want this fight, but can they kill Sifo in time? He's able to get out, so this is now not looking good for JAIDA. They are way too far forward, and Tempo not able to find the picks at this point, but will TRA go a little too far forward? Elevator Duck is going to drop very soon. He flashes into the wall. He does have GA, though, so he might be able to survive. Nice binding coming out from Sifo, though, is going to lock Elevator Duck into place, and that's going to be a dead Yordle very shortly. Trying to get a trade kill, but is not going to be able to. He is finally going to drop. So all in all, 2-for-0 in favor of TRA. They're not out of this just yet.
Yeah, again, with the this being a late game situation at this point, Zed's not a super team fight presence, which means so much of JAIDA's team is on Synth right now, and if he gets caught out, they can't do anything. It looked like they were trying to turn that fight around after losing Synth, but that was just a mistake because they don't have the damage. And they ended up losing both Elevator Dunk's life and his GA, which will hamper them for any future team fight attempts. And I would be a little bit concerned if I was JAIDA right now, because they have a strong lead, but they don't really have any great ways to extend it at this point if they can't get a tower. They haven't really committed to the split push here with Tempo, which I think is a bit of a mistake. But yeah, a Baron just led to nothing, and then they gave up a kill.
What's he building that Megatron cloak? What's end?
Pardon?
Oh, he's probably building a GA. I was looking at Tempo. I was trying to figure out what he's going to be building with that Megatron cloak, and then I thought, oh yeah, GA makes the most sense. Wits End makes not a lot. It was the only thing I could think of at the time, though. But yeah, GA 100%, and that's going to be a really big pickup for him. And they're going to have to wait though until Elevator Dunk gets his back,
because he can be a bit reckless with his first life and try to trade for Hamination. Hamination probably will pick up his own GA here, just as a cloth armor right now. It may turn into something like a Randuin's. That's not a completely foreign purchase for 80 carries, but I would expect... I would expect GA is the way to go.
Yeah, 100% on that.
And the GA is completed for Tempo. So now he's full build, and any more gold he's getting is not going to do much at this point, which is, again, something that they need to be aware of, and they need to really do something here before Team Red Apple completely catches up.
Yeah, so as this game goes further and further, this gold lead is going to mean less and less, and it's really just going to come into who plays the game better. Not really, I don't want to say either team comp really, because anybody such a big team fight. But yeah, Synth gets caught out by Xavier. Is that going to be the death of the AD carry? Can they keep him alive? As Taka's actually going to the backside. Hamination's going to get jumped out by Tempo, and that's going to be the AD carry for actually TRA gone. That is going to be massive at this point, and the fight is going to continue. Elevator Dunk in the backside, trying to do what he can. But this is actually going to be TRA continuing this fight. They just can't kill Synth. He's extremely low, but no one could close in on him as Tempo is just wreaking havoc right now in the backside. Synth finally drops, but how much is it going to cost them? Double kill over to Tempo, who still has his GA, so he can go really far forward at this point. Sivo's trying to get a trade, but not able to. Triple kill on the Zen at this point, and now it's all up to Xavier. How much time can he waste now on the side of JAIDA? Because he's going to drop eventually. That's going to be at least the GA popping. He's going to drop soon after. That's going to be the ace for JAIDA.
Straight to Baron.
And it's going to be Baron. This game goes, whoever kills the AD carry first wins the team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they really committed hard on the Synth, which opened up the potential for Tempo to go on Hamination, and he didn't even have to use his GA. He has that available for the next time. We saw, you know, Ezreal... Lulu will mean Ezreal is hard to kill. If you land the Nautilus hook, though, that should be it. But after that, we saw Synth go down, and we saw how long it takes to kill these guys. Zarkra, Xavier, Party Duke to an extent. But yeah, most of that front line for Team Red Apple is so tough to kill, even if Tempo's involved in the fight.
Yeah.
And that's just how crucial Synth is. So, but yeah, taking Hamination out before it really gets going is obviously huge. Party Duck has really struggled to find a footing in this game. I think it was Sifu who actually finished off Synth in that because no one else could kill him. So, you know, that's why you go to the Zonyas first. Because you got to carry. But yeah, they need a tower here. I mean, if they have another Baron buff without a tower... I don't really know what Tempo's doing. I guess he's going for a dragon right now, so that's one thing, but Elder Drake will spawn here. But then they need to do something. Tempo needs to be off split pushing, or they need to dive. But they can't just let everyone get full build, because I don't like their situation when, you know, everyone just has full armor.
Yeah, and this actually, Elder Drake is being chunked down very fast by JAIDA here, and with that use of the ultimate from the Poppy, that's going to be huge. They pick this up, and they can't fight this. Tempo is trying to chunk down as much as he can. Hamination already extremely low. Ultimate comes out from Synth, and that could be the death of the AD carry, and that could be the end of the game, but he's not going to waste it just yet.
They have positioning here on mid lane. If they can force this tower down, that would be huge.
Yeah, Zarkar's already
crack
low.
In the base.
Yeah, they're already pushing down the towers. It's going to be extremely low. It's already destroyed. Sifo trying to do what he can, but is not able to do too much. As Zarkar going to jump on Party Duck, going to try to kill Synth. This will be huge if he could find the kill on that Ezreal, and they do find it. That's going to be a 1-for-0 now in favor of TRA. If they're able to finish this fight, it could be huge. Party Duck so low, but so is the rest of his team. Look at the healing coming out from the Vladimir. It's not enough. He's going to drop his Hamination. Just gets popped by the Zed. And that's the use of the GA, as Tempo is going to be able to survive through this. And this might be it for JAIDA if they could find the rest of the kills. Elevator Dunk is going to find it on Sifo. Can they finish this kill? The death timers are so massive at this point. It's a 4v2 for the next 40 seconds. This might be JAIDA's ticket to the semifinals and the Spring Land if they can finish it. TRA has to try desperately to defend this. Zarkar goes in, but is it going to be enough? He is going to get popped here too. And then Tempo, 16-5-5 is massive on the Zed at this point. And now Nautilus has to be the hero. Can he defend long enough for his team to survive? He has to waste 15 seconds of the time of JAIDA's, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to be another tower. JAIDA is going to move on to the semifinals, and we will see them at the Spring Land. TRA is knocked out very early.
And that's it. JAIDA losing the first game, but figuring out what they did wrong quickly and just improving so much there. And that was such a wild game, that one, though, in particular.
Oh, yeah. Very, very
engaging.
wild.
You know, they thought they caught out Synth, but, you know, it's still a Baron buffed, Elder Dragon buffed team. And that burn for everyone will help them kill the tanks, even if they don't have Synth available. And then, yeah, once again, Tempo was still able to find Hamination in that fight. The GA was not completed at any point. I question leaving it to the last item. You know, we've seen, I think, as early as like third item Guardian Angels in the past. That may be a bit early, but going super heavy on the damage. And just doesn't really matter if you die before you can get an auto attack off. So, not sure about that. And I mean, yeah, Tempo did a lot of work this series in general.
Yeah, this is
he had
extremely close too, and like this was Team Red Apple fighting for their lives. We said that the winner of this moves on, and Team Red Apple, very new team this year, I believe. There's a lot of players on their team that's been playing for a while. I recognize Party Duck. I recognize their sub Splash as well. Some very new as well. So hopefully this team's not graduating completely. They'll be able to come back and be able to play again next year, but this is going to mark the end of their journey, at least for the Penn State LCS of this year. And JAIDA, this would have been a massive upset if they would not have made the Spring Land this past year. So now all they need is a white minority win, and they make it.
Absolutely. Do you know about any other games in the future?
Sadly, do not. This is the only one I heard about for the playoffs so far. So I'm sure they're usually weekends. I would say like that's when they usually are. But so I'm sure we'll hear about them very soon about when they're going to happen. So that is going to do it for us today. Doug, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to have you.
And it was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you all for joining us today. Chat was very active. I always love when that happens. And it was extremely funny just to read chat while playing. There's a lot of different stuff that's been going on. Keep it up the good work. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Good luck.